You've got the look in your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Set them to take what's yours. You are kings now, curse of titans.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony. We're Tornado Tag Podcast. We're here this week. We got a little more people at the table. I'm seeing more faces. I'm excited about it. We got two people over the phone. We'll get into that in a moment. Just want to give a quick plug to a podcast I just recorded that's coming out in a couple weeks. I just interviewed the guys over at the Glorified Jobbers Wrestling Podcast. We were on their show Saturday. We did a pre-show for Double or Nothing. Myself and Andy called in, and they were really cool guys. Excited to do more with them in the future. Really cool bunch of guys. And also go check out over on PPW. They're doing the Quarantine Chronicles.
Yeah, not a podcast. Yeah, it'll be on their website.
Yeah, it's like a write-up article style done by Tom Mitchell.
Yep. And the first interview came out this week. It's Deshaun Pratt.
Awesome guy.
Just basically, Deshaun Pratt's the best.
Yeah.
He's great. And yeah, just kind of runs through what he's been doing in the off time and how he's staying ring ready and
he's working out like crazy.
And he's already amazingly talented to begin with.
Yeah.
So if he's got that focus, then he's going to be unstoppable when he gets back.
Yeah, and our last two episodes that we put out, man, the Johnny Moran got a lot of good feedback. I got some messages, and then our Matt Turner interview went really, really well. A lot of people really enjoyed that as well. They enjoyed hearing your Ring of Honor stories, Matt.
Yeah, that was a nice trip down memory lane.
Yeah. It was it worked out nice. Like, a lot of people were really, really excited for that. We told them about it, and they all listened in, and I got a lot of good messages and feedback saying they really, really enjoyed it. So I think we're onto something there. I think people like the separate,
the long form. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, give people more time. So if you are a wrestler, or you know a wrestler, or you want a favorite one of your Indie Star wrestlers interviewed, tell them to shoot us a message. They could be wrestlers, referees, managers, podcasters. If someone does another wrestling podcast, we're always down for collaborations, promoters, anything. We're really open to anything. And if you just want to do a wrestling fan, if you're a fan of wrestling and you just want to talk wrestling, we can do that too. But yeah, go check those out over on Tornado Tag Podcast, in the section there. And also, we have some merch. You can go grab some T-shirts and stickers and pins. No pins. Sorry,
pins be sweet.
Yeah. They're coming soon. We have
sports brawl leggings.
Yeah, we have them unlocked, but
onesies.
We're waiting for them to come to the launcher. But we have a lot of cool stuff coming.
And real quick, by the way, just to go back to that PPW thing, just to give their website so people can go see it.
Yep.
It is ppwwrestling.com.
Yes, sir. Awesome promotion. Cannot wait for this whole quarantine thing to end so we can get back to indie shows and PPW Outbreak. And I really want to dip my toes into some other promotions like Backbreakers and Atomic and a bunch of other ones out there that I haven't got to experience yet. I miss doing the car ride homes, man.
Yeah,
they're fun.
They're fun.
I like doing those.
It's easy. I mean, you got time to spare. You're coming
Yeah.
back.
Oh,
Especially if it's over half an hour.
They're so much fun.
Yeah, the one coming back from the GSW show.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time for that. Sometimes, believe it or not, with the PPW shows, we would be like, oh, well, we got to wrap this up.
Yeah, it's only half an hour. It's
Yeah.
25 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
You go around Hazleton. And 81.
We take 81. Sometimes I take the back road from
Yeah.
Hazleton, and then I go into Shenandoah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I
that
have-
way,
So I
yeah,
have more
yeah.
time, yeah.
Through that one town on that, I forget the name of it.
Shepton.
Shepton, yes,
yeah.
Shepton.
But yeah,
Shithole.
they're really good time. I can't wait to go back to those. Sitting in the car and just driving home is hilarious. The first episode, we went down a one-way street.
That's easy in Hazleton.
Yeah.
The one episode I know we went, we had to kind of just sit there for a while because there's police activity right by the.
Yeah, we were watching in case
we're
anyone
just
got anything crazy happened. We had to document it.
That's funny.
So let's get right into it. So the first bit of, we don't really have much news, and if we have news, we're going to kind of sneak it into the appropriate show. So instead of being like, hey, big news at AEW, we're just going to be like, hey, this week on AEW, here's some AEW news, and then get into the show. So we're going to kind of change the format a little bit, and hopefully we don't keep you here for 2 hours anymore. We're gonna definitely try to be conscious of that.
Hey, a lot of people like long podcasts.
I've already been told by someone from PPW's management. I don't know his actual wrestling name now.
Phil Bravado, right?
Thank you, Phil. Yes, I was going to almost say his real name. I don't know the rules behind that.
I know our buddies at PA Paul Driver had mine. They just called him Scott. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's a huge
that
secret.
guy,
That
that
guy.
one guy.
But he's like, if they're under an hour and a half, I'm pissed. He's like, I like them longer.
Yeah, I was listening to one of my Cryptids, a monster podcast. It was only like 38 minutes. Like, what?
Yeah.
38 minutes? Jeez.
And there are some wrestling podcasts that go long. Lapsed Fan.
Yeah. Now, the wrestling sheet, 5-6 hours, that's too long.
That's Lapsed Fan.
That's
They'll do
too
2-parters, and each part's like 4 hours.
Oh, boy.
That is
3
them.
tops.
Yeah, that's way too much talking.
I guess it depends on how like the quality is. Like even for like wrestling, like if you have a WrestleMania that's like 5.5 hours, that's like just okay. You're kind of bored, but I know like when me and Heather watch Wrestle Kingdom, like man, it was a 6-hour show and it flew by.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it all depends on like what the content is and how good it is. So
How good we
Yeah, I
are.
think that-
And how
Yeah.
into it you are.
Yeah.
But I think like for me like an hour 45, 2 hours tops is like the
That's where
absolute
we.
max.
Yeah,
that's our wheelhouse.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Because when you give like an hour podcast, I think a lot of people feel slighted. Like, oh, come on. You know?
Interviews are not usually about an
But
hour.
that's it's a little different.
Yeah. But so Dark Side of the Ring has been announced for season 3.
Yeah, well, no surprise there. It is
Yeah.
by far the highest rated show on Viceland, and it's also like there were 3 episodes this year, 4 episodes rather, that are the 4 highest rated things that were ever on the channel.
Yeah.
It was the Benoit episode set a record, and then it was broken by I think the Snuka episode,
Okay.
and then the Dr. D episode was really big too,
and
and
then
then Owen was the biggest. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just got chills just talk. I watched the Owen one again.
I finally watched it. It was hard to get through.
Yeah. I made Heidi watch it because she was like, wait a second. She always like I always told her about Owen, how I was an Owen fan, and I wasn't a huge Hart fan guy,
Right.
but I was a huge Owen fan, and she was listening to it and she's like, wait, he died in the ring? And I was like, on pay-per-view in front of an entire arena, and she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, and she's pretty much was like, I can honestly see how people are not a fan of WWE just because their management and they're a terrible company. Like I'm at the point where I really support the talent. I'm a fan of the talent, but like if I was
There's a lot of cognitive dissonance involved in being a WWE fan.
like I think going into like knowing what I know and hearing what I've heard, if I was a top rated guy in the world right now and they're like, you can go here and make WWE money or you can make a little bit less but go to this promotion,
Baby.
morally I would probably go to a different promotion.
I think I would too. I think I know I would.
You know what I mean? Like
I mean, you take it if it's the only thing offered, but
yeah.
I mean, the thing that kind of sets that off though is this generation. You know, AEW seems like it's for real. It's not going anywhere. They're already making money. But for some people, especially now, because we have people that are getting into wrestling now that they weren't even more than babies or little kids when WCW died. So for them, WWE is the big leagues.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think it is good that there is competition out there, and maybe it has they have to change their practice a little bit, and they don't really have talent by the balls, as you would say.
And people will make more money, and there'll be more opportunities for people. A rising tide lifts all boats. So it's very good.
But yeah, let's get into some speculation of what we would like to see in season 3. I think that'd be fun to do.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start with Matt on the phone. What are some season 3 episodes you would like to see?
Oh jeez, I just see one on Rick Rude.
Yeah.
I like to see one maybe on Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
I've said it before. The 2 ones that I really want to see that I don't think they're going to do is the King's Road style, and basically how it beat up, led to early retirements of Kabashi and Taue and Kawada, and probably led to Misawa's death. Just like that, just hard hitting, head dumping style. That, and then I would like to see one like on the last wrestling days of Shibata. I mean, it kind of could be in the spin of the 4 pillars and the All Japan King's Road style, where his style was so hard hitting that it basically shortened his career.
Yeah. Is that the guy who did the headbutts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shibata's like his wrestling looks so real, so realistic, and he's the head trainer of the New Japan Dojo in LA, and that's why all those guys from the LA Dojo are so good, so fast, so out of the gate, is because they're so fundamentally sound.
Yeah. Tyler, what about you?
I would love a Sabu episode.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
They could do one on the Sheik too.
He's just so unique. Yeah, they could touch on, his uncle and everything and how he got into wrestling. Like, I met Sabu in person, and he was a piece of shit. I hated him.
A lot of people say
But
that.
I would still like to hear more about his life, though, and hear about his career. I think would be really entertaining.
Yeah. How about you, Andy?
Like I said before, XPW, the whole
Yeah.
the porn company that owned him, and then they went out of business, and then the one guy got his thumb cut off, Messiah, because he was sleeping with the owner's wife or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff there in XPW.
And he jump ship to CZW.
Yeah, because they were like the
wow.
rival. Because XPW was like, we're going to replace ECW. They were in California, and they did good for like a year or two. I mean, good as in they made money, but
Yeah.
Then they
wasn't
came
good
to
wrestling.
They came to Philly to try to take over ECW spot, and they got everybody kicked out of the ECW arena. They had exclusive rights to it for a little bit, and that I think that might have facilitated their downfall. Like, there was something where they were storing stuff for the porn company in the arena, and that was
Yeah.
like breaking their lease. And then the owner Rob Black,
Yeah, Rob Black. Yeah,
he got arrested, and he might still
Oh,
be in
and his
jail.
wife was a porn star.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that
Lizzie
Messiah.
Borden, I think
Yeah,
was
yeah,
her
yeah. That
Lizzie
Messiah was-
Borden?
Yeah, I get it. That Messiah was.
They gave her
banging.
30 whacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
So
than
that
maybe.
had a bunch of.
Any other episodes?
I think one in China would be pretty good.
China would be
Ryan,
fantastic,
doing
yeah.
porn. Just anyone
Yeah,
that's
China would be awesome. That'd be great.
Do you think a lot of and I don't want to come off as a biased podcast where I feel like we're kind of dumping on a promotion because I feel like that's too much out in the wrestling world now, and I don't want to just keep being that way. But I feel like a lot of this dark side of the ring is kind of like, man, here's WWE and here's some dirty things they have done.
Well, it's not bright side of the ring, of
Yeah.
course.
yeah.
But I mean, like they've really hit on some definite like. It's like when you listen to a documentary and they're like, and then the other side of the party refused to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the weirdest one with that was the Dino Bravo episode where they couldn't get Rick Martel, so they
Yeah.
just got the rights to a shoot interview.
Yeah, which was pretty cool.
Talking about it.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
Vader was one that kind of popped in my head just because he
Ooh.
has such a story with the match with Stan Hansen where his eye came out. The whole thing with Paul Orndorff in the fight there, the Mick Foley ear incident, just so many things in his career that I think there was a thing where he was getting pursued by cops and he tried to throw a boulder at them or something.
Jesus.
The thing in Kuwait where
Yeah.
he slapped a journalist and was basically under house arrest in a hotel for a while. For Japan, I thought maybe the Akira Maeda thing, which you can kind of bridge it.
Oh yes, yes.
Where he just kicked Choshu right in the face, and that was his.
Oh,
like,
and the big dude was like, is this the one that the guy that looks like Bill Burr did a skit on it, wasn't it? Where the guy like
don't know.
he's a Japanese guy, he looks like a movie star, like a really attractive dude.
No, I don't
and the
think-
guy wasn't selling for him, so he just beats the shit out of him.
I don't think so.
That's
No, not Maeda just was like, I'm gonna kick this guy right in the face, and then he kicked Ricky Choshu in the face.
Oh wow.
And then there was another thing where he started doing shoe kicks on Andre too. Like he started just hitting Andre with leg kicks, and Andre's like, that no mas.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would be great. I don't think they'll do it. At some of the bigger ones, I'm sure they're going to do things like this. Like you could do a thing about the Hulk Hogan Gawker thing and the Bubba the Love Sponge thing.
The Great Antonio versus
Oh,
Antonio
Inoki.
Inoki. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's like an
Yeah.
all-time bad match. Yeah.
Where he just stopped selling for him, so he just kicks the shit out of him.
yeah.
well, that great
Yeah,
Antonio.
he knocks him out for real.
Yeah.
That's if anybody ever questions how legit of a badass Antonio Inoki was, just pull that up.
Yeah.
Bill Burr commentates over
Oh
it.
god, the other guy's a piece of shit.
Another
Yeah.
one you want to watch is Raja Lion and Antonio Inoki. Another, just a few more, some of the big obvious ones that they haven't done yet. The Ring Boy scandal, the Mel Phillips, Tom Cole thing. Just could do like the sexual abuse stuff from WWE.
Yeah.
Rita Chatterton.
Yeah.
The steroid trial. Those
Yeah,
are some
I'm
of the
shocked.
obvious
Rob
ones.
Feinstein.
I feel,
Yeah.
I
That's
feel like
a-
the steroid trial will be third season.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of holding ones back. Like we need.
Yeah,
we
and
need.
Death of Masawa. I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Japanese wrestling, but the guy died.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and he was a huge star
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah, I would say Eddie, but I feel like Eddie and Benoit were like a 2-part episode
Yeah.
where it was like both of them together. I do.
You know who would make a great episode too? Scott Steiner.
Yeah, Scott. So one of mine is
the Arn and Sid knife fight.
yeah, that's a great one.
I would like
The
to
scissor fight.
because how much he
You do the
did
thing with Pillman and the squeegee.
Yeah.
for how much he's done just being a part of the documentary and talking. Scott Hall's alcohol abuse would be an interesting episode.
Yeah, I could do
Scott
that, yeah.
Hall, yeah, and there's some stuff in his past too. Like I think
He shot a guy.
Yeah,
Killed a
Didn't
guy.
Killed
Scott
a
Hall
guy.
have an episode in season 1?
I don't think so.
I
No,
could
he
have
didn't.
sworn there was a. No, he didn't. I could.
He was in a lot of episodes in season 1.
Yeah,
That's why I
where he
figured
would
out
like
what it was.
talk. He
Yeah.
would talk during them, but I don't think he had his own one. Like just him, like you know how like the murder thing,
Yeah.
His break into WWE, then he was like the huge turning point for WCW, him showing up,
Yeah.
and then just his alcohol abuse and like bouncing back, and you know what I mean, a DDP episode would be cool.
Yeah, that's more of a redemption episode. Like DDP didn't have the he was never like
Never did anything real
bad
bad.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just like him, how he's helped so many guys out of.
But that's not really
Yeah,
dark.
that's more bright side of the
Yeah.
ring. That's
Yeah.
like, hey
Good call.
WWE in the Special Olympics. Like
Yeah.
there's like WWE does do good things. It's just that doesn't fit the format of their show.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, I would just
Warrior.
Yeah,
Warrior would be interesting.
I would like to see something like Jushin Liger, but I don't think there's any darkness
he
to that.
He does nothing bad.
Yeah, Scott Hall would be a big one for me. I'd like
Keishan
to
Liger maybe could do an episode.
see- Yeah, that would be high on my list. Just the Scott Hall one. Yeah, I mean, there's so much cool stuff out there that you can do. I do know also Vice. I don't know what the show is called, but they do a lot of wrestling content on Vice.
Yeah, well, Dark Side of the Ring was such a hit that they're.
Oh.
Well, no,
Yeah, why not?
they've done something before that.
I know. Yeah, I know they did something too where I think they had a thing.
All women's wrestling. They talked about women's
Yeah.
wrestling all over the world.
I know they did one about DDT, the Japanese promotion.
Yeah, I didn't see that one yet, but I watched the whole one about Darby Allin.
I think they came on after the first season of Dark Side of the Ring. I think there was like an.
Oh,
it was
really?
like, it's such a hit. We're gonna do this too.
Yeah, I watched this whole Darby Allin one where Darby Allin and what's the dude's name? They had a huge like rivalry blow off, but like in the
and Evolve.
Ethan Page.
Ethan Page and Evolve. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
now Impact Tag Champion.
Yep, and then they did one on Austin Theory. There's a whole Austin Theory
Oh, wow.
episode. Yeah, there's a lot of different like where they follow a guy early in his career and kind of follow him through.
That's a cool show. Yeah.
What happened with
Yeah,
Dark?
it's on YouTube. There's a really good one on Japanese Deathmatch where it starts off with the guy and
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
Onita in a bar. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
was really good.
crazy. The dude's like 85-year-old mother's there, and he's taking suplexes through panes of glass, and there's glass sticking all over his body. He's bleeding like a pig, and his mom's like, "Yeah."
Because it was like his last match.
One of
Yeah.
the first non WWE tapes I ever bought. There used to be this kiosk, this little like mall kiosk at the Franklin Mills Mall in Philly. It was called the Pro Wrestling Shop. I think Rob Feinstein owned it, and they had like the Japanese death match. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy that, and it's
Yeah.
like people getting stabbed with scythes and explosions.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, or even if you're not, and you just want, and you're into documentaries and just storytelling, man, Vice has a lot of really cool wrestling content.
That's one that just popped into my head. Nick Gage would be another.
Yeah,
really
because he
interesting
went to jail. Was he in jail for like
Twice.
Yeah.
He robbed a bank, and then I think he violated his parole.
Yeah, the last time he was in jail
wow.
for a couple years.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
You know who would be a good one too? Dustin's drug abuse.
Yeah,
like,
he had that's a redemptive one. That would be good. And then the other thing too, sadly, with Nick Gage's brother just passed away earlier this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because
right.
Dustin can even go into his
Yeah,
failed
Justice
marriage
Payne.
on TV, his drug abuse. Like, there's a lot of stuff that he went through.
Yeah,
and
there's-
then
well,
came
There
out-
was some estrangement with Dusty there for a little while.
There's
when
a
he was
lot
in
of
WWE.
people that they can do that. Jake Roberts. I mean, my God.
Jake would be a good one, but I feel like it's been done with that Beyond the Mat.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah,
and then his
Jake's
DVD.
like
Yeah.
with that documentary that he had.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the-
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that.
The
The resurrection of Jake the Snake. or
Jake,
something?
yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah, that story's all been told.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely go check it out. I'm still waiting for my own Heart shirt to come in. That didn't come in. My Orange Cassidy shirt didn't come in
Pro
yet.
Wrestling Tees takes like 2-3 weeks.
But a cool thing is the owner of Pro Wrestling Tees liked our post on Instagram. That was kind of dope. That was kind of
yeah, well, hey, he knows business. You know.
It made my day. I was like, oh wow, we hit his radar somehow. I'm sure he's tagged all the time with people buying stuff, but it was kind of cool to be that someone noticed. Let's get into it. Let's jump into SmackDown this week.
SmackDown begat SmackDown Mall.
You know what's funny? I start thinking about SmackDown, and in my head I'm like, it wasn't a bad show. And then we start going over some stuff like, ooh, there was some rough stuff in there.
I haven't minded SmackDown lately. I thought we'll get into it here.
Reminds me of the Muppet guys. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was bad.
Wasn't
I
that good
hated
either.
it. It's terrible.
So you basically had the very beginning was more with Miz and Morrison and Braun, and just be like, Miz was kind of getting into, you really think you're done with Bray Wyatt? So they're keeping Bray in the back burner, kind of letting him simmer a little bit.
They went back to their intro. They got away from their intro for "Oh, you ready?" They went.
AC/DC song,
It came back this week.
I didn't even notice it was gone.
Yeah, it would just be like, "We're here on SmackDown," and it would just start with the arena.
Okay, but no intro video.
Yep.
And then that led to a match where Braun beat The Miz. But after that, they set up a Universal title handicap match for Backlash where it'll be Miz and Morrison against Braun.
Oh, Braun destroying a tag team again. Cool.
Well, I know they did this. Oh, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
I thought that segment. I just real quick. I'm sorry to cut you off. I think the segment was really fun. Usually I fast forward through like the talking segments, but I think the Miz and Morrison have really been clicking.
I
So
agree.
I'm like, all right, I'll give it like 2 or 3 minutes. And I thought it was really funny the way they were kind of just going back and forth in their cadence. And then like Braun came out, and I wound up watching the whole segment. I thought this was a really good way to start off the show.
You can tell they're buddies in real life. Like they mesh really well on screen. I love the Miz and Morrison. I'm not too excited to watch them get squashed by one guy though.
I don't really want to watch that match at all. I'd rather watch John Morrison versus Braun.
Yeah.
I
Watch John Morrison wrestle anybody.
Yeah.
John Morrison has showed in his career that he can have a match with a big guy and it could be interesting. You know.
Yeah.
It's always weird when they bury a tactic. Like, who did Sammy and Kevin Owens wrestle? Was it Seth? Was it
AJ?
AJ? That was right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What was our next segment?
Our
Our next match?
Up next, it was a Intercontinental title tournament match with AJ Styles beating Shinsuke Nakamura. And the big thing here is that AJ is now officially traded to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah, for future considerations.
Yeah.
I worked out last time. Well, what was it? Lexa and Nikki
And it
got
was-
traded, then got traded back.
Yeah, and I guess
And then for
they're the women's tag champs now, so they're on everything.
Yeah.
And I guess you could say, okay, they got Apollo Crews because then he showed up later, but they
Yeah.
never connected that dot for you.
Yeah. It was a good match.
Yeah, I almost had a stroke about this because I was that upset about it. Because I was like, kayfabe wise, because I kept asking people online. I'm like, give me a good reason why Raw would trade AJ.
yeah.
People kept saying like, well, Fox needs stars, or they would see shit like, well, Roman's not there, so like, you know, but like that's real life shit. I'm saying kayfabe wise, why would Raw get rid of AJ?
Look at you trying to make continuity of the WWE storylines in the past 10 years. You kids,
I know, it's
you,
ridiculous.
You kids are so cute.
Forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
The only way they saved it is when they're like, AJ's back to the house AJ Styles built.
Could you imagine any team in sports doing that? Hey, we'll trade you this guy, but you trade us somebody later on.
Yeah.
Well, they do
Okay.
that. They don't do that a lot, but you'll see in baseball for a player to be named later, future considerations.
Yeah.
It's just
It's not as big of a thing as it used to be.
Yeah.
In fact, there was one guy in baseball who got traded
Unless-
for himself. He was the player to be named later.
hey, we're gonna take you back.
Unless when Roman comes back, he goes right to Raw. Like that's a pick. Okay, that makes sense.
That could be it. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if, like if they get tired of Bray and like they want him over on Raw, like, that could make sense. But it has to be like a star. It can't end up being like Sami Zayn shows up on Raw one day. Like that's not a good.
They give him the
trade.
Forgotten Sons. Here you go.
I'll tell you.
Oh,
I'll tell you why it makes sense a little bit to me. It shows to me that they probably have a lot more faith than I thought they were going to in Drew McIntyre, and having AJ on Raw, and knowing maybe his career is coming close to an end. I think it makes more sense to possibly put a title on him on a SmackDown level than it does on a Raw level, because I think they want to run with McIntyre a little bit.
It's possible. Yeah, I don't see Drew being a short-term champion at all.
No, I don't either.
See, a story just broke before we went live that AJ he was on Corey Graves' podcast, and he said it wasn't his idea to go to SmackDown, but he was so unhappy with like them getting released, Gallows and Anderson, and he was unhappy about it, like just showing back up on Raw without anything different happening, like any build.
After he died.
So they brought up him going to SmackDown. He was like, and yeah, exactly. And he was like, dude, this is perfect. This is what I needed. Like, he's like, I needed something new because I just felt so bad about them getting released that he felt like he let them down. And they're like his younger brothers. Like, that's how he feels about them. And he just needs to get away from Raw. He needs to get away from all that. So, like, once he told his side of the story, I was like, oh, all right, well, maybe it's not as
He's
shitty
not.
as I thought it was.
I don't think he's resigning.
He just signed a long-term deal not that long
It
ago.
was like 3 years.
Yeah, he just
Yeah,
signed. He's there for
5-year
years.
deal.
Yeah.
And he kind of made noise that this might be my last deal.
Yeah,
when he
that's what I'm
signed it.
saying. I think this is enjoy him on his contract, because I think them bringing his buddies over and then dumping them like trash. I think that was a bad move on their part to keeping an AJ Styles long term.
So anyway, Styles wins, and he will face Elias this week in the semifinals.
What did we think of this? I mean, Shinsuke AJ is something that we wanted so many times, and we got it, and it wasn't the greatest. But what did we think of this match?
I didn't see it.
It was
Nothing's
a
going to live
match.
up to the WrestleMania,
Yeah.
Wrestle Kingdom 10 match, but I thought this was really good.
Yeah, it was good, but it's honestly one of the best matches in this year so far. It's hard to say. The Gulak Daniel Bryant match, and
That's
I
absolutely high on my list.
and I feel like this AJ and Shinsuke wasn't even close.
It was a TV match, though.
Yeah, it's hard-
And that
it's
was a
hard to-
pay-per-view
No,
match.
it wasn't.
7
that close.
minutes.
And it was empty arena. Yeah, it's a TV match shorter. They didn't get. It wasn't put in a spot to be that kind of match.
Yeah, I mean neither was the other one, but they did it.
Oh, Daniel Bryan was like, "I'm going to tear the house down with this
Yeah,
guy." That was Daniel Bryan making
Wasn't
that.
that the main event though?
No,
No.
I think it was middle of the show.
Oh, I thought it was
that was
middle.
Daniel Bryan saying you're an idiot if you let this guy
Daniel
go.
Bryan and Gulak was like either the opener or the second match, I think.
Yeah, it was really early.
Yeah, it was the opener.
It was it was in the same exact spot of the show then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a pay-per-view, and there was a crowd, so it was Philly, so there was a good crowd.
Was it a pay-per-view? I thought it was on the SmackDown.
That was Bryan and Gulak? Well, no. Oh, you're talking about that Bryan Gulak
Yeah.
match. I thought you meant the one that...
Yeah, he's talking about the
I'm
SmackDown.
talking
match.
about the TV
okay.
match.
I'm talking about the pay-per-view match from,
Yeah.
what was that, like, Fastlane?
Yeah,
whatever.
let me be clear. When I say match of the year so far, I want to say TV match of the year,
Okay.
not pay-per-view, because I know pay-per-view they go a little higher.
TV match of the year, Thatcher and Riddle, I think.
Yeah.
But, no, yeah, it's... Shinsuke is slowing down a little bit. AJ might be slowing down a little bit. They're
Nakamura
still
and
great.
Styles, sadly, they haven't had a good WWE match, if we're being honest. I mean, this is like the sixth match they had. AJ's won 5. Nakamura's only won 1.
Yeah.
They've all been kind of a letdown.
Yeah. All right, next match.
Yeah, especially when you're like rating on the curve against their Japan work.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's hard. People just do better in Japan. Like
Yeah.
it's more of an emphasis on it. So then we had a backstage segment where you're starting to see Charlotte's trying to drive a wedge between Bayley and Sasha Banks, and that leads to Bayley beating Charlotte in a non-title match.
Now, I know the big thing on the internet right now is everyone's saying, "Man, we're getting just Charlotte shoved down our throats," and they're upset. Well, they're upset by it.
It's like LOL Charlotte wins, I think, was trending at some point.
What is it? I know my take on this. I'll take as much Charlotte as you give me. I'm a Charlotte fan.
I'm with you on that one.
She's amazing, yeah.
Yeah, anytime Charlotte's on TV, I'm not upset about it. I don't know.
As long as she's not multiple segments, you know.
Yeah.
She's only on wrestle
Yeah,
once and
I think
Rumble
it-
once. That's fine.
That whole thing was more people got mad that she beat Rhea Ripley. That's what that
Yeah.
was.
And that's a slow burn. Rhea's definitely getting that belt back.
I am looking forward to that three-way.
And it's
at In Your
a
House.
shame because the only reason Io Shirai's in that match, guess who's taking the fall?
Yeah, I think you might see Rhea Pinio.
Yeah, yeah.
That seems like it might be a.
Yeah, Io is placing that. She's the Kane in the match.
Then again, I'm thinking back to the WrestleMania main event that didn't happen at WrestleMania 20, and everybody's like, "Yeah, Shawn Michaels is in there to take the fall," and then Triple H taps clean as a sheet in the middle
Yeah.
To nothing.
to no one.
All right, what was our next thing?
Up next was the mixed tag where Sonya Deville and Dolph beat Otis and Mandy Rose.
I like how Mandy is now wearing all denim
Yeah,
to match
she's
the
matching Otis, yeah.
to match Otis.
It reminds me of Sunny. Like Sunny would be dressed as like the cowgirl when she was with the Godwin.
Yeah.
She was with the Body Donna. She was the fitness instructor.
Remember when Lana wore denim when she was with Dolph?
Yeah, she was like from the '80s.
Yeah.
mall.
I do like Sonya Deville and Dolph though. I think they're a cool little pair up.
Yeah. I liked. I don't know if they're doing it so much on TV, but I like the whole thing that Sonya's doing now on social media, where like she's the boss and she's wearing like sunglasses, has a big stogie. And,
Yeah, she cracks me up. I'm just glad. I think separating those two was good because I think Sonya can get a push later on.
yeah.
I think it's good for Sonya. I think eventually though you have to turn her babyface, and because one of the biggest things she does want to do with her career that she was very adamant about is she wants to be that voice or that person for the LGBT community. She wants to show people that you can
Yeah.
be. You know what I mean? Like she wants to definitely put that forefront.
And then they did do a in memoriam thing for Shad Gaspard here. And while we're bringing it up, if you go to NWA, there's actually a really nice thing that they did on there for NWA's YouTube channel where Aaron Stevens, because they were in OVW together, he had a little bit of stuff about Shad Gaspard, just like stories about him. They did a whole
Did
thing
you
on the
see
bump
his
with
GoFundMe
JTG.
had a $50,000 donation? Was it 40?
40,000, yeah.
And people are speculating it was probably John Cena.
Yeah, because the username was like CTC something, and like,
Yeah.
it was Crime Time C Nation.
Yeah.
It was like their little group. Yeah, a lot of people think it was John Cena.
If it was, man. John Cena, listen, say what you want about him as a wrestler or as a person I know for a long time. He was the golden boy that was thrown in your face. I wasn't a fan of wrestling at that time, so I don't have those ill feelings. But coming back to being a wrestling fan and seeing him on the mic and just seeing everything he's done with Make-A-Wish and just the positive outside
Yeah.
the ring, I'm a fan of the dude. I don't mind owning a John Cena shirt. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's a good dude.
Great story about him. My buddy Jack, oh no, this is on the show sometimes. His oldest son, he's not into wrestling at all now, but he was really into it when he was younger. And we took him to WrestleMania 29, the first one that was up at the MetLife Stadium, when they did John Cena Rock 2.
Yeah.
And we knew Cena was winning, so we're just like healing it up on the way up there. Like, John Cena's gonna get killed.
Yeah.
He can't beat The Rock because we knew he was gonna lose. So.
Giving that kid a moment.
Yeah, so he's all, and then so we're leaving and we're in the nosebleed, so we're going down. He's like, "Okay, when do we get to see him?" And I'm like, "What?" when do we get to see John Cena? Like, no, there's no meet and greet.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
John
like
Cena.
an indie,
Like
like
an indie show.
Meet him.
Could you imagine it? Like an entire arena just
Yeah.
that'd be
We did wind up, because it was when they were doing the pregame shows. It was before the network. This was the year before the network came out. They had the thing where they would have the, like they do now, the pregame shows from the arena, and they did a postgame thing where we walked right by Dusty Rhodes, which was really cool.
Oh wow. All right, next segment.
Next segment, the main event was the next match in the Intercontinental Title Tournament. Jeff Hardy beat Sheamus. I thought this match was really good.
Very good match. Yeah.
I thought this match, and this one they did give more time. This was the main event, like the Brian Gulak match, and they told a story. They told a good story here.
100%. So what do we got now? It's AJ versus
Jeff Hardy.
Hardy.
No, I'm sorry, AJ versus Elias and Brian and Jeff Hardy.
I thought Sheamus would win. I thought he'd win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think AJ is.
Yeah, I've been saying from the beginning, it's going to be Brian versus AJ. AJ, I think, takes it.
You think AJ takes it?
Yeah, I think so. Brian chases to
Well,
WrestleMania.
actually, I'm not
SummerSlam,
sure because I read something yesterday that Sami Zayn apparently when he does come back, they're going to do like a Shawn Michaels gimmick where he
Just your
claims that
mic
he's
quick.
the real champion and the other. I was saying, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Sorry, it's actually my service, dude. My service sucks. But when Sami Zayn comes back, he's apparently going to do a whole gimmick of like carrying around a championship and saying he's the real champion and all this shit. So if they do that, then I think it's going to have to be a face. So it's either going to be Brian or Hardy, but I don't know.
With two belts, like
Yeah.
Razor and Sean.
I think
Ladder match
I
with
love
both
I love
Yeah.
AJ, but I think if they're going to do that angle when Sammy comes back, I would like to be it. I would like to see Sammy Daniel Bryan. I like to see the match that we didn't get, where they can actually go with it, like go at each other.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope
I
so
agree.
too.
Yeah, and I think Daniel Bryan AJ Styles at a pay per view would just be. It hasn't happened yet, right?
No, but they did
They had that one
the match at the
on
Rumble. It was
SmackDown?
kind
It
of
happened at
like,
Mania.
they had a match at the Royal Rumble.
A one-on-one?
2 years ago, 1-on-1, and it was kind of people were kind of let down because it was very methodical. It was, I liked it. It was very methodical, very map based. But yeah, it was the first Royal Rumble. It was outdoors. It was the one where
I
and
do
they
remember
followed the Rumble, which is not a good spot. To be
Yeah, I
on.
do remember that now. Yeah. All right, so SmackDown overall, what do we think?
I thought it was a pretty good show.
I didn't hate it.
They advanced the plot. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that
nothing.
was really good.
Nothing can't miss. I
I
mean,
thought it was really good.
I thought the Sheamus Hardy match was really good, but yeah, it was a fun wrestling show.
Yep.
Nothing horrible on it except for the whole. I guess if you're angry about the AJ thing, and they also made this whole big deal about the what is it, the brand challenge invitational or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
where it's only 4 times a year and they've already used 2 of them.
Yeah.
So-
I thought it was 4 times a year for a superstar. Like they can only.
oh, like each
Oh,
individual person
I
can
don't
do-
know, maybe.
yeah.
they
so
didn't really make it
Charlotte's
clear.
Charlotte's almost done then.
Well, she has that belt, so I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a wild card. It's not as bad, but it will
Yeah.
be.
Well,
And then they'll just forget about
the
it.
week before, it was pretty much all stories and gimmicks and not many matches. And now
Right.
this week we got a lot of we got
That,
more
that seems
matches.
to be what they're doing on Raw.
Yeah.
I think late the last couple of weeks, SmackDown has been more enjoyable than Raw.
Yeah. All right.
Are
Well,
we, are we covering Double or Nothing or?
we're gonna do that right before AEW.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's
Raw.
go to Raw. Yeah.
So Raw started. I'm just pulling it up here with the Kevin Owens show.
And we have an audience.
Oh,
We have an
Yeah.
audience today. At
and
Raw.
and hockey glass, put
Yeah.
hockey fiber, whatever that stuff's called, plexiglass.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't mind the plexiglass.
I just want when Daniel Bryan wrestles for them to yell, "You're going to get your effing head kicked in," and then just
yeah,
hit the
bang on the
glass.
plex.
I want them to bang on it, interact with it.
Can you see fans banging on it and then it breaks? And then
Yeah, you
lawsuit?
can never do it with a live audience. But I think with the people there, I think if something happens, I
Yeah.
think that would be really cool.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
I read Tyler's post in the group chat saying it feels like they're forced to be there. And I think that was the case for some of them, but some of them were really legitimately enjoying the show, and it showed. Like Justin and Duke and
Yeah.
Maria Shafir were having a blast there. You know what I mean? Like, and there was some people in the crowd that were legit, like, looked like they were having a good time, and then some of them were just like, "Bro, you can't give us a chair." Like,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, asking someone to stand for 3 hours, that's a tall task. We
Yeah.
give him a chair.
yeah. Shotzi Blackheart just looked like she hated sitting there.
Well, she should be sitting there in a little tank.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was tough to really get a good idea who was there because of the plexiglass.
And they're trying to
Yeah.
not really focus on it.
Like, I noticed-
Obviously, we're not going to get Adam Cole in the crowd or anything like
Yeah.
that.
I do. I'm torn. I like the idea. I think it definitely gave it some noise. It was fine.
It's
But
it's better than silence.
Yeah, but what I do enjoy a little more than this than the other one is I feel like no one in the audience is trying to hijack the show, which I think is happening a lot on AEW.
I think if they're showing more personality in AEW, that's fun. Wrestling's all about big characters.
It is, but I think there's certain people out there who are just extra to get on camera.
Big Swole. You can say Big Swole.
There's a few more.
Okay.
There's a few more.
Well, sometimes
out
it's because they're doing a storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
like,
it's okay.
Yeah, like AEW will
like
will
the
get
Butcher
that
and
too.
Blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did anybody notice that The Rock's daughter was there?
The Rock's
Simone
daughter.
Johnson was.
Yeah, she was the first one on camera.
Not at AEW, at Raw.
At Raw. Yeah.
At Raw, yeah, at Raw. All right, yeah. So Kevin Owens show.
Kevin Owens' show.
He's fantastic.
He's amazing, and he had Asuka on, who was also amazing.
Yes.
Even though I'm with Matt's wife now. We're like, I think I'm a little sick of the just crazy yelling Japanese lady.
I think it was funny that he was pretending that he knew what she knew what he was saying. Oh, I agree with you.
I always like that wrestling when they speak different languages, but they can still talk to each other.
Yeah.
I love that.
So they use this to set up the match later on with Charlotte and Natty and Nia for the number
Well,
one
Natty's
contenders
music
spot.
hit, and Kevin completely clears the ring.
Yeah,
out.
because she wrecked the place.
Yeah. Yeah, and then she came out and apologized, said she was sorry, she threw a temper tantrum, she was having a bad day or whatever. And then I forget, someone said to Kevin, like, you might want to get out of the ring, it's going to get crazy. And he goes, you got it. And he stepped out. Yeah.
Nia, I think Nia did that.
Yeah, Nia. Man, Kevin's fantastic. I don't want him to just be a talking personality.
Yeah.
I want him to wrestle too, but the guy's
He wrestled last week. He did the tag match with Apollo.
Yeah, we'll get into maybe something else with him in this show, but I actually went back on YouTube and I didn't know that it existed, like the Kevin Steen show where he would sit and interview people,
Okay.
and he like people,
on high spots, yeah.
yeah, on high spots, like him and the Young Bucks, him, Adam Cole, hilarious.
I remember Vin Gerard doing something like that too.
Yeah, really cool. Actually, another cool thing. Let's get a kind of a PPW plug here.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched some shoot interviews. Probably 2 or 3, 4 times. Watched a bunch of them. Watched a few of them multiple times. Never knew it was Timothy from PPW who sells the merch in the corner.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I haven't watched a shoot interview in
Yeah.
at least 10 years.
In the group chat, I was saying,
maybe
like,
15.
podcasts have really kind of killed
some
that.
of those I watched probably 5-6 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then watched them multiple times, like just to kind of, because I watched it and I enjoyed the conversation. I watched it again, and I was like, I talk to this guy once a month, and I never put it together that it's him.
It's funny you were talking about the Kevin Owens show, like talk show things like that. He did a talk show for RF Video where I don't know. I think they've only done the one episode where it was him and his sidekick was Swoggle. Like Swoggle was his Ed McMahon or Andy
Yeah.
Richter.
Yeah, but all right, next skit. I don't want to dwell on that too much.
Next was the U.S. title match where we get a change. Apollo Crews wins the U.S. title from Andrade. First time he has a championship in WWE.
Good for him.
Good for
Yeah.
him.
I think it was time. I think Andrade can go on to do maybe something else.
Yeah, I would love to see him maybe a little higher up the card.
Yeah, 100%. I think he would be a fun contender for the world title. I don't see it happening anytime soon, but I think he'd be a good fit for that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Drew would be a good feud.
I think him and Drew would be an awesome feud, so I would love that for a title match.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already done it, so they would have to rehab him a little bit. I don't know who you put him with right this second, but I don't think you can have him jump right into. It seems like they may be doing something where him and Garza might be face off a little bit.
Yeah. I'd watch that too. I'm
Oh,
cool
yeah.
with that. Listen, not everyone needs a title too. Just put him in a good storyline where it makes sense that he's there. Mm-hmm. Not it doesn't always have to be title. At least for me, I don't. It doesn't have to be like, oh, here's the title. Like, build a story to it.
Well, yeah, and I wouldn't have him win the title necessarily. I wouldn't have plans on Drew McIntyre losing anytime soon.
No, he's doing so. We'll get into that, but he's doing so good.
Then we had a Seth Rollins promo where he kind of just gets into the thanking Rey Mysterio for getting him out of a dark place. Later on, they even teased that he's going to have a retirement ceremony for Rey next week.
Are they throwing the retirement start, or is Ray legit retiring?
I think it seems like an angle.
Yeah,
It seems like an angle.
yeah.
And he also kind of introduced
Yeah,
Murphy in
Seth,
theory.
Seth is throwing it for him, but they're kind of marketing as like, oh, Ray retirement ceremony to get more people to watch, but it's just Seth doing it. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I like this Seth. I'm digging it.
He is interesting, and Seth Rollins hasn't
I
been
do not.
interesting.
You don't
in a
like
little
it?
bit.
I don't like when Seth talks at all.
No,
Ever.
I think
I
he's more
normally
interesting
don't.
than he's been.
He's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
but when he talks.
Amazingly.
Yeah, I normally don't like Seth when he talks, but I don't mind this angle.
He does kind of sound like a 70-year-old woman. Though.
He does.
does.
Yeah.
I'm always watching Mike Wazowski.
So then we had a promo with the Iconics where we had the apology. Peyton apologized for slapping Billy Kay last week. And they're lobbying for another title shot with Bliss and Cross. They even attack Bliss and Cross.
Yes. For how
And they did give the upside down magic killer again.
Ooh. For how atrocious that finisher is and how much work they clearly need in the ring, I don't mind when they're on my TV. I like the Iconics.
They're entertaining.
Yeah.
The wrestling isn't ideal.
It's
but
not
they're
amazing at all. It's not good at all.
They could have used to be sent back to NXT and trained a little.
Yeah.
That could have benefited from that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're great. They're
Yeah,
great.
that's what I don't understand. They were just off TV. They were just off TV for like 8 months.
Yeah.
How did they not get any better?
Because they sat at home and that's when you don't care too.
Well, they were off TV.
Yes.
They were off TV for a while, and then also the COVID thing, and one of them lives in Australia, so I don't know how
I
much
think they're
time.
both living in.
Oh, do they?
In the States now? Well,
Australia has wrestling rings.
yeah.
That's no excuse.
I don't know.
Peyton Royce is married to a wrestler.
Yeah.
She's not terrible.
She's the better of two.
Yeah,
I
she's
think.
the better.
He owns a wrestling school.
Yeah.
So there's
You
no
gotta think with all
excuse.
those-
You're right.
You got to think with all those trainers at the Performance Center. I mean, you have Hunter, you have
Yeah.
Matt Bloom, you have Michaels, Norman Smiley, Robbie Brookside.
If you're not
William
good, it's
Regal.
your own fault, right? That is pretty much what we're
Like,
getting
yeah.
at.
It is.
Again,
Yeah. You could. Well, go ahead.
I agree with you, Tony. They're extremely entertaining. I like them on my TV for like 8 to 10 minutes. Their wrestling isn't horrible, but there's so many other better people in there that are better than them.
Agreed.
But the character-wise, I don't know if there's any more entertaining. There's not that more entertaining characters probably on the show. So it's like, I guess it's give and take.
They're very fun. I think
Yeah,
they're
they
very
are
fun.
fun. Yeah.
Here's the thing, too. I know a scumbag dude said something really inappropriate about Alexa Bliss.
I think it's some podcast guy or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
I will. I'm not agreeing with what he said, but I'm gonna say the Alexa Bliss we had during her championship runs is not the same Alexa Bliss we see as a tag team wrestler.
She's also a babyface now. I think she's better as a heel.
I just feel like even in ring, she's not as clean to me. I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind
I
of
think
the same, kind of
she's
the same
fine.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never thought she was like amazing. in
Yeah,
the
I always
ring.
thought she was like on the
Personality
maybe the
wise,
third.
yeah.
But gimmick wise, she's not like in
Nikki
the
Cross
top
is carrying that tag team.
level. But yeah, Nikki's a much better wrestler.
yeah.
Alexa's good in the ring, but she's not great.
She's kind of like a wrestler like you would have had 10 years ago and before.
Yeah, but
before people like Charlotte and
maybe
Bayley
like
and
a
Sasha
little bit
raised
better
the
than
bar.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's better than like Tori Wilson. Yeah, but she's like Trish level Victoria.
What did the Iconics say?
Yeah,
to
exactly.
her?
She's like Trish Stratus level.
Yeah. What did the Iconics say? Be grateful and shut your mouth, or something like that, or I don't know. Well, it was gold. It should be on TV. It should be on a T-shirt. Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut somebody off there. What were you guys gonna say?
I was going to say, I think Alexa's getting a little bit better. I mean, as a heel, she was more of an entertaining character. But as Bobby Heenan said, when they brought in Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler, like, how are we supposed to boo those?
Yeah.
Like, how are we supposed to boo Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
Now, like, not only that, but like with everybody having a camera on their phone and whatnot, like you watch these autograph sessions that she does, where
She's a
so
sweetheart.
open and so nice, and she's an absolute sweetheart. Where it's like, she's been on podcasts before. I think it was Steven Jericho's podcast like 2.5, 3 years ago, where she said, like, I'm a complete opposite of my character. Like, I'm very shy, I'm very this, I'm very that. That's like, well, eventually they're going to turn her face because, how you're supposed to boo her. I mean, she's easy to look at. She's an absolute sweetheart. So eventually you're going to turn her face. So it's like, I see where people are saying, yeah, she's definitely more aggressive as a heel. But I was like, once the crowds, start coming back, I think you leave her as a babyface, and I think you push the heck out of her, especially merchandising-wise. I think they'll make a fortune out of her.
Yeah.
Just off of Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy has like
I
14 Alexa Bliss
almost
shirts.
all her shirts. So.
I think me
like
and Andy are in a competition who has more of the same wrestler when it comes to Jericho and Alexa Bliss. I have a bunch of Jericho. He has a lot of Alexa Bliss. All right, what was our next segment?
Next segment was MVP's VIP Lounge with Drew McIntyre. Again, the set gets destroyed.
Funny.
And we're just building to Lashley and Drew and doing well. Like, it's just a pretty simple build. They're not reinventing the wheel here, but they're really making Lashley look like a killer, which helps.
Jesus, I'll tell you, he looks like a killer, but they're also making McIntyre look so like when they put him on champion. One of my biggest fears were they have a hard time booking bigger guys as champion. Usually, a big dude gets champion and they don't know how to book him.
Yeah.
He is killing it, absolutely killing it as champion.
That's just it'd be interesting to see what a crowd does. You know?
I mean,
Because there's always that like, oh, now we don't like him because he has the belt. You know, how
yeah,
that
but I
people
mean,
are.
like that build up to Mania with Lesnar, that crowd was explosive.
And the countdown when he does the Claymore, that's a
Yeah.
that's a great call and response things.
when he Claymore kicked him on the ramp and no one seen it coming, that roof blew off. Like when he beat him up and then Lesnar limped backstage and then he got crushed again with another Claymore, that audience exploded.
Brock made him look like $1 million.
He did. He really did.
Yeah, Brock was screaming at him that time. He's like, pick up the belt, pose with the belt.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good. Drew McIntyre is doing fantastic. Good for him. So, I was told too that I didn't watch it, but they said his documentary on the 24 or whatever.
Oh, okay,
I didn't see that.
They said that was really good, and they said the Edge one was probably the best one they've ever seen.
The Edge one,
Yeah, they were both good.
Edge was great. Edge was awesome.
Yeah.
And another great thing is I became a fan of Drew after he got fired when he was doing the 3MB thing. Right after that, he was on with Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, and he had the best attitude for a guy like, I'm going to go do these things, I'm going to make my name, I'll be back, and it worked for him.
Yeah, his work ethic is bar none.
And then for another guy getting elevated here, Angel Garza beats Kevin Owens pretty clean. He attacked him before the bell.
It was a good match.
But the finish was clean. Like, he didn't cheat at the finish.
Yeah. I enjoyed the match. It sucks to Kevin lose.
It was so quick. It was quick.
I don't mind him losing to Garza because Garza is red hot.
Him losing helps Garza a lot more than it hurts him. Kevin Owens is kind of a make guy.
Yeah.
He's going to still be
A win or a loss doesn't really hurt him.
Yeah, I mean, unless he's losing to, like, Brendan Vink or somebody.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
At that point, it hurts him. But losing to a guy you have high hopes for, like Garza, and building something in the future, hopefully, I'm fine with that.
I still want to see a Kevin Owens Adam Cole match.
It'd be fun.
Like a one-on-one. I think it'd be awesome to watch. But go ahead.
Colin O'Reilly against Kevin and Sammy, maybe?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
ROH?
Oh.
But yeah, then we had the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders golfing this week. And the star of this is Montez Ford's pants. That was the star of the segment.
Pants.
Thank you, Bianca Belair.
There are some golf pants.
And they did the thing where they got kicked out of the regular golf course because they're these goofy pro wrestlers ruining everybody's golf game. And then they just went and played miniature golf.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'll start up some controversy here. If you hate this, but like some of the stuff on BET, I don't see a difference.
Not BET. That's something totally
I
different.
like 106 in Park.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry.
I like
BTE.
I like old episodes of 227.
I'm more of an Amen guy.
There is some cringy stuff just like this on that channel, and I don't know.
There's a lot of stuff that doesn't hit on BTE though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I'm like, this. Stop doing this.
BT doesn't do a lot for me.
No.
And neither did this. So
No, yeah, I agree. I did not enjoy this.
I think certain people in wrestling are very good at comedy. Cassidy, Orange Cassidy is very good.
Cole Cabana.
Cole Cabana is very good. R-Truth, I think, is very good. Drake Maverick is excellent. EC3 is excellent.
Kenny Omega's
Sandow.
good when he's in the ring doing it. When he has to like act on camera, not as good to me.
You probably don't remember him doing like the weed whacker spot with his forearm hair, where he would like just rub his forearm hair against people's face.
In the ring, he's hilarious. Like his facial expressions, they all hit for me. But when he's on BTE, sometimes when he's like, I'm like,
you don't last as long as he lasted in DDT without picking up some comedy bias.
There is a spot I seen him. I don't know the match. I just seen it as a GIF where a guy is walking to the apron and he does this weird scoot shuffle in a chair, sitting in a chair, and he just scoots into frame, like with this menacing face on it. Like I don't know how he did it. Like he just slides. He's like slides in frame. It's so funny. I see if I can find it.
Then there's the thing, and this is why Cornette hates him, where he wrestled like a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah. And the blow up doll Yoshihiki.
I mean, but Cornette doesn't like much.
That is
of
a multi-time Iron Man heavy metalweight champion.
All right. Yeah, let's just get off this Street Profits.
Yeah, moving forward, you had Murphy and Austin Theory beating Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black. It was a night of upsets. A lot of people kind of getting moved up here. Austin Theory getting moved up. Angel Garza getting moved up.
Aleister Black's a guy like, wow, we don't know what to do with him. Just put him with a random person that we'd never tag with in real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, just put him back with Ricochet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated how they tried to say that Rey Mysterio would be a huge hero to Aleister Black. Like, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Two guys that would never talk to each other in real life. It's like, come on.
I cannot find it.
And then you had I thought, a very good promo with Edge, where he just sat down and he kind of admitted that he is a little scared. Maybe he doesn't have what it takes to beat Randy Orton in the greatest wrestling match of all time.
Yeah.
Well, he actually helped save that idea of booking it as he's like, I don't know if it's going to be the greatest match of all time. I don't know if I have it. You know what I mean? Like, kind of dialing it back a little bit from a promo aspect. You know?
No, it was very much.
his promo's been great since he's been back. They've been fantastic.
It's like he's been in his mirror practicing the whole time.
It's such a stupid moniker. If it's anything less than a 5-star match, then we should all be disappointed, right?
Yeah.
They're telling me this is going to be the best match I've ever seen in my life.
And
Come on.
I think what you're seeing there is Edge might be one of the better actors in wrestling. He's got a little bit of range. That
Yeah, he was on that sci-fi show. I forget the name of it.
Yeah. I forget it too. Eureka, I think.
I
Yeah.
just literally pulled up a video, and it's Kenny
He
Omega
was an
driving
Ava,
a
and
little
he was
kid's
the Viking.
face into a
Yeah,
turnbuckle.
Yeah,
that's
girl.
the match. Yeah, he wrestled that's why Cornette hates him. That and the blow up doll thing. Like he hates Chuck Taylor because of the hand grenade thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's. But yeah, moving on from that. Yeah, and then we had more with the people at the golf course, and then we had the triple threat number 1 contenders match. Nia Jax is your number 1 contender, beating Natalya and Charlotte Flair.
I think Nia's a good move for the next challenger.
And then the match where she taped it with Kyrie and
Yeah.
threw into the steps and busted her open pretty bad.
Yeah, and Kyrie had a rough week. I
know,
feel bad
yeah.
for her.
Poor
Apparently,
Kyrie. She tried to help Hana.
yeah, that's how. That's what I was kind of touching on when this whole thing with Hana Kimura, where she passed. The Twitter stuff all was at like 4 in the morning, like 3-4 in the morning, Japan time. So nobody saw it.
Yeah.
Nobody there saw it. Everybody was asleep. Kyrie Sane saw it and got a hold of somebody at the Stardom office. But
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
They said by the time she posted on Twitter that she already drank the whatever she drank that killed her.
Yeah,
something
the,
there was really
potassium sulfur,
yeah,
something like that.
Jesus. Yeah.
But she tried to help him. That's cool. I mean, she is a world away.
It's
literally,
literally like the worst timing ever too, because she's clearly on her way out, and then she gets hurt again.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately it's Nia Jax again.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, "Oh, she's horrible. I hate her."
Yeah.
She's
I mean, who
hurt."
knows? We didn't see it, so who knows
Yeah.
if she hit like
And
as
listen,
some
when
Kyrie
Kairi
did.
Sane takes a bump, she's committed to that bump. She goes 100%. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe she slipped. You don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see it yet, so we'll see how it plays out.
And then we're continuing the Natty meltdown angle. That's still going on.
Yeah, not even just a weird Natty meltdown angle. It seems like they're gonna do an angle where she's having marriage troubles with TJ.
Yeah, that was an odd part of it.
Yeah,
He hasn't been on TV in like
Yeah.
6 years.
a
Yeah.
divorce angle. That's
Yeah, so,
strange.
like, people are like, you could be like, she's single. People are like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah. What if she gets divorced and she has like this cougar resurgence,
and she's banging a bunch of
and
dudes.
she's just like coming out in sexy outfits?
That's what I want. I want
Just
someone
starts
to be like,
hitting on Garza.
I want someone to be the female Ric Flair. Be like, all these guys want to have sex with me. If you want to have sex,
Charlotte should be that
Yeah,
person.
she should.
I'll take this guy in the crowd and take him in the back and make a man out of him.
Room 502 at the Marriott, baby.
That'd be amazing.
It would be fantastic. Yeah, so go ahead.
And then we had a little thing with Rob Gronkowski where he was in the gym. He referred to R-Truth as our lives, and he was basically said, I'm still the champ. Like, they just kind of was like I'm still here. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
hey,
still
I've
check
seen
it out.
It's awful.
but now at least R-Truth knows that it's not Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's Rob Gronkowski. who's the
You know
champ.
what? Then he'll be like, I know you're not Tom Brady, and then he'll say someone else's name.
Yeah. I'm calling for you, Antonio.
Trent
Brown.
Dilfer.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Stephen Gronkowski.
You should say some guy that's been like long dead.
Yeah.
Bart Starr. Well, he just died, I think. He
Coming
might
for
still
you,
be.
Antonio. I mean, what's his name? The guy who killed Aaron Hernandez.
Oh,
Coming for you.
jeez. Wow.
The other tight end.
Yikes.
It is our truth. He can get away with it. The guy can get away with
I don't
anything.
think so. I don't think so. And so they also announced that next week we're going to have Aleister Black and Seth Rollins. Liv Morgan did another weird promo about, like, well, you know something about me? I put in the chat that her gimmick is she is the living embodiment of one of those live, laugh, love signs.
Yeah, someone's like, be a basic bitch,
Yeah, exactly.
and that's it.
Yeah.
but like, but if it was,
But
if
put
she
her in
knew
heavy,
she was a
put
basic
her in
bitch,
heavy middle gear.
yeah. If like the whole thing was she knows she is, and she was like, I'm gonna go listen to Taylor Swift now, like, then it'd be good. But
Yeah.
it's bad because that's all she is. Basic.
You put her in darker makeup. You put her in really dark ring gear with the leather
Yeah,
band
like
around
almost
her side,
dominatrixy.
and then she's like, "I love life."
I like getting up on a Saturday morning.
Michelle
and-
McCool's
and
gimmick.
looking at
She's
the-
loving
Yeah, remember when
life.
she? Yeah, I'm just
I'm
loving
loving
life.
life.
Yeah.
That was so dumb.
Strange.
I like rollerblading on the beach.
Which is strange, man, because they were doing really good stuff with Liv for a while there,
Yeah.
and it seems like they're just taking a step backwards with her.
Yeah,
It seems like they don't know what to do with her.
it's such an
Since-
easy thing. Just make her an underdog. She's like still learning the ropes. She
Yeah,
doesn't.
or put her in a
yeah.
tag team with another girl.
Or just bring back the Riot Squad because people liked it.
Well, like, fired one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now there are two-way
What
tag.
are they doing with Ruby? Is she hurt again, or
No
Who
idea.
knows? Just she's getting squashed every time she's back. She just comes back and loses.
Probably main event somewhere.
Right before she got hurt, she's challenging Charlotte for the title. Comes back, can't win a match.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ricochet was on main event this week.
Ugh,
against
poor Ricochet.
Shane Thorne.
Poor
Wow,
Ricochet.
yeah.
They hate him.
Yeah.
But like, just release him then.
Yeah.
Just release the guy.
Yeah.
Then you don't pay him. I mean, yeah, you'd wear him all you want. You're still paying the guy.
He's a guy that would get snatched up anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, AEW would take him in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would fit their style. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, New Japan Junior.
Yep.
Definitely. And then in the main event, the Street Profits beat Lashley and MVP by DQ because Lashley did not break the hold on the full Nelson.
Yeah, this match did nothing for me.
I loved MVP's Punisher gear. That was really cool.
Yeah. He has good ring gear. I
And
like
then-
his Black Panther gear and stuff.
And then you had McIntyre and Lashley brawl. It's just more setup for the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yep. SmackDown I thought was better than Raw this week.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, like some of the stuff that would be really good on Raw, like the Kevin Owens match was too short.
Yeah.
But it was good to see Apollo win the title. I
Yeah.
think that was probably the highlight. Good
Yeah.
for him.
All right, let's get into NXT.
NXT, and this again with crowd for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Your first match is Drake Maverick defeating Jake Atlas and Kushida to go to the finals of the Cruiserweight tournament against El Hijo del Fantasma.
Might be fired.
I don't get this finish.
If he loses, and then be like, all right, you're fired. Like, what a dick move.
No, it's all a work. This whole thing's gonna work.
Ain't that terrible though? Like, what imagine one of the guys did get fired? You'd be like, well, what? I'd be pissed off.
So here's
if
the
I
thing.
was Zack Ryder,
Yeah.
I'd be a little pissed
Maybe
off.
it might have been a shoot that turned into a work. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Here's how I look at it. Drake Maverick gets fired. He's a nice guy, all right? He's a nice guy. But what does he offer for the most part?
Ideally, I think he would make an amazing heel manager. They put him with AOP, which didn't work.
Manager,
They
yeah.
didn't give him the right gimmick.
So you go out and pick up Japan's Kushida, who is probably one of the best wrestlers on
As
the
opposed
planet.
to Peru's Kushida.
Yeah. And
Kushida from Minersville.
Yeah. You get Kushida from Japan, who is probably top 5, top 10 in the world in his weight class. in his
Kushida's
division.
incredible, yeah.
And you're gonna Drake Maverick's you're gonna do a
rolls them up,
storyline where he is fired, but then comes back and beats this division and becomes a possible champion.
They just do they like doing underdog stories sometimes.
I just don't see
Well,
why.
yeah,
you
but
don't-
if you've seen the two ways he's beaten Kushida, it's all been like fluke roll-ups, and then Kushida.
Yeah.
Well, then Drake Maverick was saying, "Well, Kushida had him in the armbar. Let's do another match. Let's figure something out."
Yeah.
And then Kushida backstage is like, "No, you go for the title." And he's like, "I respect you." And he's like, "Well, if I win the title, you get the first title shot." So they kind of save face that way. Kushida really hasn't had like a true loss in. Like he said, like it's all been like fluke roll-ups. He's all been made to look really good, and he even does they didn't even change his gimmick. Like you figured out they're going to take the Back to the Future stuff off him, and they really didn't. They're kind of just let him be Kushida. Like it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I would have just if you're gonna release him,
Yeah.
and then just go about your tournament with the talent you have. And
You have plenty of guys. It's
Yeah.
not like you're hurting for people.
I don't know. I'm happy for Maverick. I'm glad he's getting TV time. He's getting something. But at the end of the day, if it was a business move, I would just keep it what you got.
Yeah. Especially if he really is releasing them. Like he's like, all right, do I have a contract? Like, no.
No,
See ya.
that was legit. You're
Yeah.
fired. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the wonky finish. I don't know.
I like the finish. The
Did ya?
finish was fine.
The
Yeah.
armbar pin.
But then he's tapping. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it sets up Kushida being the guy's like, I'm not going to be responsible for this guy being out on the street. So you make Kushida look like a good guy. He really won, so you protect him.
Yeah.
And it gives you that inspirational thing. It's the underdog story. Look, if I had to sit in the Philadelphia Spectral through 4 Savio Vega matches, you can deal with this.
Yeah. All right. Next.
The next thing was a promo with Gargano and Candice LeRae. It's the Gargano way. It's not about eliminating people. He's trying to make NXT a better place.
Yeah.
And he
My
does
way, the Gargano way.
he does the Gargano Invitational where he very quickly beats Adrian Alanis.
Who?
Oh wait, it gets better.
And then Mia Yim and Keith Lee. The Lee kind of threw me off there. They do a skit where they're spoofing the Garganos at the dinner table. It's just WWE comedy.
It was horrible.
Keith Lee came off as such a cool guy in the skit. I was like,
He always does.
man, I was always
Yeah,
big
he's-
on Keith Lee. He
Go ahead.
came off as like his cadence, the way he talks, like just his timing on everything. just go and watch this. The whole thing was like 90 seconds. If you haven't seen it, go and watch the promo. Mia Yim, she did okay. She's working hard. She's, trying to find her groove, and she's getting there week by week. She gets better.
Agreed.
But Keith Lee, just in this promo alone, I'm like, man, this guy has got star written all over him.
He has that effortless charisma. Like, it's just
I think he comes off as a heel all the time, though.
He does.
So I would have him just be heel.
He kind of does.
I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. I agree with the cadence thing though. I think the cadence was perfect for him. I just think in the whole, this whole
worked for me. I thought it was better than like the Newly Bro game and
way
some
better
of the
than
other stuff
that.
they've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah,
So I didn't have a problem with it.
I'm just excited for the match. The match
Yeah.
between Johnny and Keith Lee is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Gargano to me is like a guy I look at and I'm like, there's no effing way he's gonna have a good match with this guy. And then it happens.
I would never say that about Gargano and anybody.
Yeah.
Like if you
Or
physically
Keith
look at
Lee.
Keith
Yeah,
Lee
he's
versus
5'6".
Gargano, you're like,
Yeah.
this is going to be the worst. This is a waste of time for everybody.
He's going to be sneaky and cheating and
And then he gets in the ring and I deny it all the way up until the match, and then the match happens. I'm like, all right, he's good. He's really good. He's really, really good. I don't this Gargano and Candice LeRae or whatever her name is. This heel thing does nothing for me.
I think they're better as babyfaces.
Yeah.
I think they're too.
But there was a staleness, so maybe it won't last long. They seem to not know what to do with Gargano booking.
Like Champ as a babyface, I'm not a fan of it. I'd rather him as a heel.
I think I would too.
Yeah.
But all right,
I guess I figured they were that way for so long that they had to flip it back.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I would have kept them with DIY for a little bit.
or just make Ciampa like your anti-heel, where he gets babyface push because everyone, no matter what you put him, the fans are going to be into him.
Yeah.
But just kind of have him do that badass heel thing.
Yeah, I think with Champ it might have even been a thing where the crowd turned him more than they did.
Yeah.
Especially when he came back from injury, people were happy to see him. And then we had a little promo with Imperium teasing a match with Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan. I love Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan, so if they're getting more TV time, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I agreed.
And then we had Raquel.
That match is going to be great.
It is. It's going to be incredible. And then we had Raquel Gonzalez defeating Shotzi Blackheart.
Not a terrible match.
No.
Not a
Consider
terrible match.
Shotzi almost killed herself.
Yeah. Yeah. On that,
Jeez.
what the hell was it?
The fall.
It's like the coffin drop.
Yeah.
The coffin drop.
Yeah. Ooh.
And so yeah, we're kind of they're setting up a few little things there. Like Candice LeRae got mad at Tegan Knox because Tegan Knox was the DoorDash driver in the
she's part of
Keith
the
Lee
skit.
So that seems like they're setting something up there, kind of moving her off of maybe Dakota Kai a little bit.
Tegan Knox has some pretty cool. I just seen photos of her like in the indie scene. She has some pretty cool comic book inspired gear.
She's wore Captain Marvel since she came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the different colors.
And and she's somebody too that's fought back from a lot of adversity. 2 really bad knee injuries.
Yeah.
Apparently, she was supposed to win the second Mae Young Classic,
Wow.
and she got hurt in the match, and they wound up changing around and had Toni Storm win. So then we
Which is
had,
crazy to think about that Toni Storm wasn't
Where is Tony Storm?
in UK.
Yeah, she just is stuck
yeah,
there.
they can't get over. They can't get over here.
Yeah.
Like they're making deals now for people for Canada. Like they had to get Brock out of Canada for WrestleMania. But yeah, I think it's a little tougher for international travel right now when you have to go by plane or.
They smuggled Brock. They dug a tunnel.
We rode a train.
He just hit the border and said, "Stop me."
Yeah.
Oh no, you can go through, sir.
Go right ahead.
2 Mounties.
Get in there, hey.
Could you imagine that was a story where Brock sneaks across the border and then the two Mounties are trying to? We always get our guy.
Yeah.
I am the Mountie.
And all they have is 2 shock sticks.
It's Jacques and Pierre.
Yeah.
Like there's I go.
Quebecers.
Oh wait, they were not the Mounties.
Yeah.
And then they had the tag team match with Charlotte Flair and her mystery partner Chelsea Green beating Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley.
When I seen the photo of this, because I watched it later, and I just seen Charlotte raising her hand like in the middle between Chelsea Green and the manager, I was like, did she just join that stable?
No, she is not part of the Robert Stone
Like
brand.
I was like, what a step back would it be for Charlotte to join that garbage stable?
I get Chelsea Green and Allie mixed up for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have kind of a similar.
Or the
I
girl,
get them mixed up all the time too.
or the girl who looks like the really big Sonya Deville, like the bigger
Oh, that's
version
one
of-
who
Raquel
wrestled that
Gonzalez,
match, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she
I
did
thought
the
Io Shirai stole the show in this match. I thought she was the best part of it.
Yeah. I would agree with that 100%.
I wonder if maybe they throw a curveball and Neo wins the title. At
she
In Your
does.
House.
I would be happy with it.
Maybe there's like a little, hey, if you stay, we'll give you a title run.
I would love to see Io with the belt. I'd
Well,
be honest.
Stardom's gonna throw a lot of money at her now,
Yeah.
and Kyrie, a lot of money.
I think Kyrie's a lock.
Yeah, I
she
think
just
she's
got
going-
married.
yeah,
Yeah, I
she's
think
going
she's a
back.
lock to go
Yeah.
over. And then we had the Zoom meeting with Adam Cole and Regal where they're kind of negotiating, which is funny because he's doing real negotiations behind the scene.
Yeah.
But this is just basically negotiating the match with Velveteen Dream for TakeOver. And the stipulation there is if Dream loses, he cannot get another shot as long as Adam Cole is champion.
Which I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's
I
crazy.
don't see Dream winning the title.
I don't know.
It depends. If maybe Adam Cole, maybe their negotiation is if you come in, if you
Yeah.
re-sign, we'll move you up. We'll maybe promise you a title run, something like that.
Yeah, maybe that's to say. Hey,
I wouldn't trust it.
if you don't sign a contract, you're gonna lose the belt. But I'd be like, you know, like yeah.
How long is you're the champion?
If
Yeah.
you would have told me a year ago that we're going to get Adam Cole versus Dream, I would have been the happiest man on the planet. And we're getting it, and I'm not even sure if I'm into it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Dream, since he's come back from
It's 'cause
injury, has
Dream
not
took
been
a
the
step
same.
back.
Yeah, he's not been the same Dream.
I think the injuries caught up to him, and it's a shame because he's like what 24.
yeah, he's
25?
very young.
Yeah, I mean, this match he wrestled tonight was good. The match that we're going to get into in a bit, like I thought it was a good match. I thought he looked a little bit better, but like the storyline going up to this has been
Wait, he
so.
didn't wrestle.
Yeah, he wrestled Fish, didn't he?
Not this week.
Or was that last week?
No.
It might have been last week.
Oh, I watched 2 back to back, so I might have seen the last week's main event.
That was last week.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. But I don't know, like, I think the storyline going into it has just been so wonky. Like, you make that you're going to bang another dude's wife just to get a steel cage match so then you can trap the champion inside the steel cage.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was all very weird.
It's a weird build-up.
And then the next match, we had a little.
And now you're tagging with a serial killer. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay.
The next thing was a little vignette for Oni Lurkin and Danny Burch where they're drinking water in a bar and they're toasting to their victory over Imperium at TakeOver. And then the next match was Ciampa beating Leon Ruff, a little bit more of an enhancement match.
Scarlett came down.
Yeah, Scarlett came down, watched everything, and then Cross did the little Titantron promo. So next week, they announced that Maverick and Phantasma will be there. It's not going to be In Your House. They're doing Mia Yim and Candice next week, and a Prime Target feature on the TakeOver matches, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah. That's a new guy. Timmy Prime's coming in.
That's the guy who's been trying to kidnap everybody.
The Lucha guy.
Yeah.
So then we had our cage fight at the very end. Timothy Thatcher chokes out Matt Riddle with Kurt Angle as a special referee. And this did kind of remind me of the Lions Den match.
Okay, and there was no ropes, right?
No
Was
ring.
there was, it was just a cage on the floor?
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, wow.
All
I
right.
didn't see
It's
it.
like an elevated stage.
Oh,
It-
cool.
It had a
Like
had a
Bloodsport.
secondary platform
Yeah.
to it, so like
Yeah.
there was like a walkway,
Uh-huh.
like where the top of the cage would be, and then it was in a ring in a cage with like 400 referees around it.
Yeah.
Visually it looked strange to me. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Yeah.
the platform, like moving to the platform to me, it lost a little of its luster just for me in general.
Yeah. I had to watch
Heather,
it.
you didn't see this yet?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was like basically kind of what I want. I'm like, I hope this leads to a blood sport match. It's basically what it was. They just put a cage around it, and it was yeah. I mean, it was hard hitting. I know, Heather, you're not a big MMA fan, but Matt Riddle did the Anthony Pettis Showtime kick off the cage twice. I thought this was fantastic.
Blood packets and
They
spit
had
out
his
fake
back,
teeth.
his teeth knocked out.
Yeah, he spit out fake teeth.
Oh, cool. I don't like that.
Yeah. There was some parts of it that I was like, "Meh," like it didn't do. I mean, overall the match is good, but the fake blood in the mouth and the spitting out the teeth, and then going up to the platform, like it was. What was that movie? Like a kind of like the Jean-Claude Van Damme thing, but I don't know. It was.
Bloodsport?
Yeah, kind of like
Yeah, that's where the
yeah.
the
It was,
Kumite.
yeah, it was like that, but then like they went up on this stage that was like a walkway.
So they got out of the cage?
no, like the cage. So
There's
the cage
basically
is,
like almost like a not a scaffold, but like a platform around the cage.
Oh, okay.
yeah. So when you're on top of the cage, if you're looking down,
Oh, there's like a little walkway thing.
yeah, you can walk around up here, and
Oh,
then it's
okay.
like a 6-foot drop down to the ring.
Okay.
Of course, Riddle did a crazy
Oh, there's like twisty moonsault
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
it looked. It
What's
did,
he called? That Bro Derek? Or is Bro Derek?
Bro Derek, yeah. I think so.
There's nothing about that move that looks like it's fun for the guy landing it or the guy taking it. It just looks like it's so painful.
Yeah, I have to watch. I want to watch it. I just didn't get I had a chance to today.
Overall,
watch it, dude. It was
a
great.
really good
I loved
match.
it.
But some of they were the only two things I was not really into. Was
No.
the spitting out the teeth, blood packet, because blood packets just don't look
The same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like most of the blood sports, Thatcher won.
Yeah.
He was like, I think he won at the last blood sport deal against Manawa Man.
Yeah.
But they lost to Hideki Suzuki.
He lost the first two.
But everything else in the match looked legit. Like they looked like they were legit fighting.
Wow.
Yeah. It was entertaining.
And the finish, I think it's going to lead to a third one because well, you want me to, can I spoil the finish for you, Header? Or?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll still watch it.
So the finish was Riddle got choked out, but he didn't tap out.
Okay.
So I think his complaint is going to be like, well, I didn't tap out, I didn't submit. So I think they're going to go to a third match and do the blow off at the in your house.
Yeah, why not?
That's what I'm hoping for.
What did they say? Riddle's getting called up?
He
Which
could.
I'm
They said
afraid.
he could be on SmackDown as soon as tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm afraid. I might not be good.
Maybe never mind then.
Yeah.
And the reason why they said SmackDown is because they still have Brock in their back pocket, and
Riddle?
Brock's like, don't ever come to don't put him on Raw. And which sucks because Heyman really wants him on Raw.
Yeah, Heyman loves
Heyman
him.
wants him on Raw, but they're like, we can't put him there because if Brock comes back, we can't put him together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the fans really want. So they're kind of that's why he's going to SmackDown, from what I was kind of hearing.
Yeah, and apparently there might be an idea that he might be feuding with Corbin because Corbin threw him out of the Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was like punishment for something stupid.
Yeah, because he said something. I think Goldberg or
Yeah.
somebody in the back.
Well, no, he
Yeah,
went
because
up,
he's talking
knows
shit
Brock.
again.
he went up to Lesnar,
That was.
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
Yeah.
Brock.
Yeah.
and Lesnar's like, I will never work with you.
And apparently he won't.
Was it, there's a good guy.
That's all an angle. I bet you they work.
Yeah.
I can see they are. They
I bet
put
they work.
enough money to work with
Yeah,
anybody.
the money's right. Yeah, if the money's right, they'll work.
They,
like
they better
the
watch
work.
out because Matt Riddle's contract runs up. He'll leave.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Matt Riddle is not afraid to walk away from a job. We
Yeah.
know this.
No. He's like, later, bro. I'll go to AEW. They'll let me smoke weed.
yeah.
Do steroids or do whatever you want.
Yeah, you
AEW.
can kill it over there. Yeah. All right, that's NXT.
Yeah, that segues right into AEW.
And when is In Your House?
It's Takeover.
Next Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh,
next
next
Sunday.
Sunday?
Next
Okay.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said what is it? I'm like, it's a pay per view.
Yeah. No, when is it?
Yeah, next Sunday.
It was the old pay-per-view from the 90s.
Yeah. Is it going to be 1999?
your house.
I hope they do the set. If they don't do the set,
They
I'll be
have to do
disappointed.
that. At least the entranceway.
Yeah,
At
I'll be
least the
disappointed.
Something get thrown through it like Shawn Michaels
Tom-
was against The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Todd Pettengill, Stephanie Wyatt come out. We're giving away a house. No, wait. No, we're not.
All right, so yeah.
Did you enter that contest? I did.
No.
I sent my postcard in.
Overall, I thought
I
NXT
would've,
was a
I
good
did.
show.
I got to watch it.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, it was-
We'll compare it here. But before we get into what happened this week on AEW, let's get into a little bit of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, Double or Nothing. I think we all enjoyed the show. Most of us watched it together here on Saturday. And
Well, real quick, go ahead, Tyler.
did we lose?
Which part do you want me to rant about?
Well, don't just
No, we want you to.
do your thing. We'll let you get it out.
I don't think
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit lost.
And still,
Oh, and still. I'm sorry. And still. That's right.
five time.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I guess technically it's 4 because I guess they're not counting WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 as like 2 separate.
No,
things.
that was
It's
all
one.
one. That was all one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's 4 in a row.
And you
4.
finished overall
Second, I think,
Second. I was fourth. So we did really well. We both had a really good showing this pay-per-view.
On Pro Wrestling Scorecards
Yeah.
context.
Yeah. Pro Wrestling. If you watched on Facebook, we did our predictions. It went really well. But let's get into the pay-per-view. We'll breeze through. I mean, we're pretty good on time. So
Yeah.
we can, yeah.
No, it won't take long to.
So yeah, the buy-in match was number one contender match. So best friends are your number one contenders for the tag titles. They beat Private Party.
Yeah, we all kind of seen
Yeah.
that coming.
Yeah.
The SC, I mean, best friends are pretty much on a roll right now.
I don't see them win the tag belts, but you never know.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking of with Private Party because they do some fun stuff. There's a little roughness around the edges. With we've seen a lot of people that we know locally here get some work on AEW Dark. Mr. Grimm wrestled Wardlow this week. Last week was Clutch Adams. I want to see Blue and Gold against Private Party.
There we go.
I think they could learn a lot.
Book it.
Yeah.
I think they could learn a
Book
lot.
it.
You guys will 100% have the better gear.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to see Blue and Gold versus main event.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that's good.
yeah.
I'd like to see Blue and Gold or main event in AEW. I think they're both. Main event's a fun tag team.
They are.
Really fun tag team. Even Zambo show's really good.
He's trying to get you.
Yeah.
He's trying to take your booking away from
Yeah,
you.
No, I'm saying there's good tag teams. I've been pushing for you guys in PBW hard. We've been saying like, man, Blue and Gold would be a good addition to that tag team.
I like to see Blue and Gold versus two evil doinks.
Alabama doink.
Hey, rest in peace, Alabama Doink.
Yeah, so
the Super Smash Brothers, the Dark
Then we
Order.
get Dark Order. And any tag team in AEW.
Yeah,
opening match was interesting. It was good.
Yeah, opening match on the pay-per-view proper was the Casino Ladder match. And they did the whole Demolition Royal Rumble thing where you had a tag partner starting off because it was basically a Royal Rumble meets a ladder match. And you started off with Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. And just guy after guy comes out. The mystery guy's last, of course.
If I could have booked this, I would have had not so many tag teams in it.
Yeah, it was, but I guess they were just putting people who didn't fit on the card elsewhere.
Yeah.
It was kind of their move there.
Yeah,
Because it's like, why don't they be like, hey, Scorpio, you go climb that, win that title, and then give me the first title shot. I'll stand here and make sure no one goes up. Like, there you go.
Well,
SCU still gets the belt.
Yeah, it's the first two. Because,
You know,
with this.
exactly.
Because this match could end before everyone came out.
Yeah,
Which obviously it
like
didn't.
rock paper scissors.
Yeah, it didn't, and it never will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Scorpio Sky already had his title shot. It's your turn, Frankie. Get up there. And then give me a shot. So at the very end, the mystery guy is the ninth and final entrant, and you hear Taz, who can stop
Taz is coming out.
the path of Cage. I wonder if they put him as his manager just for the pun. That's my thought.
I like it. I don't know. Can Brian Cage talk? I've never really seen him in.
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna say no.
He's not like a great talker, but he's not as bad as you would think.
Okay.
Middle of the road. Yeah.
just look at
Well, if
him.
you put Taz can do all the talking. I like when Orange Cassidy came out and he's trying to reach the belt without using the ladder. That was fantastic.
Where he's too lazy.
Yeah,
to...
Doesn't even know how to
first
pick
he
up
comes
the
down
ladder.
and he goes to the commentary table and goes, how do I win this? And they're like, you have to climb the ladder. And he just goes,
You guys have to listen to Tony Khan's. He did a thing with the press after the pay-per-view, like talking on the press. And Orange Cassidy interrupts him during it. And he's like, I didn't have a chance to win that match because you wouldn't explain the rules to me. And Tony's like, I explained it to you 200 times, Orange. 200 times. It was so fucking funny, dude. I was losing it.
Orange Cassidy, the treasure.
and he almost took us 2 minutes up just getting in the ring.
Have you seen the picture of Tony Khan dressed as Orange Cassidy?
No.
It's Tony Khan as Orange Cassidy and Orange Cassidy, and I think it was Tony Khan's dad.
Yeah. I like when he would lift up the ladder and then he would walk to go hit the things but let go of the ladder and he'd fall and he goes like, how do I do
Oh, it
this?
was great.
There's just the waving like really.
He's a treasure.
Hey, we're gonna get him versus Jericho down the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
looks like
They
we're getting
teased
that
it.
soon.
Well,
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Had we known that guy how long?
I know,
now?
that's awesome.
Like, who would have thought that he's gonna be like feuding with Chris Jericho?
Yeah.
That's just so cool.
And wrestling
when
up
you
in,
when
in
you
Berwick.
when you wrestled with him though, was he always like that good? Was he like did he
Yeah,
blow
he's
you
been
away?
good for a long time.
He's so talented.
Yeah, in Chikara.
If you watch old Chikara,
Yeah.
the Colony matches were excellent.
Yeah? I have to check them out.
I mean, and a lot of those guys have gone on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
Who was all part of that colony?
Drew Gulak.
Drew Gulak.
First worker ant disappeared with drug problems, and then the second worker ant was
Tracy Williams,
Yeah,
right?
Tracy Williams. Or no, was he Green Ant? No, he was worker ant. The first Green Ant became maybe that's Tracy Williams, and then there's the second Green Ant who's still Green Ant,
Yeah.
and then there's Pinky
He's
Sanchez.
so
was Pink
he's
Ant,
so
and-
funny,
Yeah.
but like when he has to let loose, man, he's so good. So good.
Yeah.
But the reason I remember, I was doing this was, I think it just actually just coming from my Facebook timeline. It was like 5 or 6 years ago. I was doing a tag match. It was me and Mike Vaughn versus the Gentleman's Club, which was Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor.
Oh,
And
man.
I known Orange a long time, and I was asking him. I said, "Yeah, I heard you doing this." He was doing it in Revolve, and Gabe was telling him, "He's like, no, you got to be more serious. You got to be more serious because this is like the second coming of Ring of Honor." I'm like, "Well, if I'm more serious, can I just do what I do? I'm just going to be another wrestler." He's like, "Why don't I just do all this lazy stuff?"
Mm-hmm.
So he's explaining to me what he was going to do and what he was going to do in the ring, and I'm like, "All right, man, if that's what you want to do, that's fine." Like, I don't get it. And then as he was doing it in the middle of the match, I'm like, "Okay, I get it." Like, I totally, and the crowd was totally into it. It was something completely different.
That was at
and I'm like, "All right."
Nanacoke. Remember
Was
that was at Nanacoke at the Armory,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
remember he had the orange and green tights back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's before he did the jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Just-
absolutely right.
And here's the
his-
thing:
his-
his gimmick wouldn't be as good if he wasn't so talented when he had to turn it on.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
he turned it on, and he was Elias. People were like, ooh,
Yeah.
he does suck.
Well, his gimmick was, and he does it in PW. He still does it in PWG. Now, obviously, PWG hasn't ran in a long time, but he's been booked in the last 3 PWG shows. But like, he comes down with the orange juice and he spits it like mist.
Yeah.
but the way he works,
it's like
yeah,
the
the way he
sprinkle bomb
works it,
with the ice cream.
he works it into like a very comedy routine. Like always gets like the ref involved,
Yeah.
or the manager involved, or a fan involved. Like he's so talented. Yeah, when he can turn it on, hence that match with Pac. I mean, he hung with one of the better guys in the world in the last 15 years. I mean, he hung with him like hold for hold. So yeah, man, when he can go, he can go.
I watched the match.
He
with him
wrestled
and Joey
Jeppin at
Ryan.
one of those PWG shows.
Yeah, he-
I think
Yeah,
Not
the
too long
last
ago.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When he wrestled Joey Ryan, he did the orange juice thing and he spit it on Joey Ryan's penis and it deactivated his penis strength and he was able to low blow him and win the match.
I remember one of the Chikara pay-per-views. It was like the Colony against Fist. Like,
Okay.
it was in Gargano was in
Yeah,
Fist.
yeah. And Kuma and Icarus.
I think it was after Icarus. I think it was Gargano, and I don't remember who the other one was.
Oh,
Might
we
have
get
been-
that other guy. I forget.
Yeah, that was an excellent match.
Yeah. All right, what was our next
Next match was, I thought, as far as like just a pure straight up wrestling match, just my opinion, this might have been my favorite match on the show.
Well, real quick, I know a lot of heat for that ladder match. I didn't mind it. I thought
I didn't mind it.
I mean, once I mean,
the rules were a little weird, but Orange Cassidy's always entertaining, and
Darby Allin's a psychopath.
yeah, Jimmy Havoc
yeah,
got
some-
to do some stuff.
Jimmy, I tell you what,
Weird bumps there.
Jimmy Havoc, the last two appearances on the pay-per-view and TV impressed me. Like,
Yeah, he's finally getting to show a little something. now.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, going into it, kind of making our prediction, saying it was going to be Brian Cage, it maybe made the ladder match a little more predictable for us. Like for
I still
me,
thought there was a chance it could be Jeff Cobb, and then the more I thought, I'd be like, no, it's Brian Cage.
but when his music hit, it's like, well, there's a 100% he's not losing this. Like he's winning this.
Yeah.
So,
And
I
they
mean,
made him look like a monster.
yeah,
too.
I mean, it was predictable, but I was still very entertained by that ladder match. So a lot of people
Yeah,
said
I
that
thought
they
it was
didn't
good.
like it. I was like, I don't see the hate, but that's just me. I liked it.
and then,
Yeah, I didn't. I don't get. Like, you and Austin hated it, and I really didn't think it was that bad. I thought
I didn't
it was
hate
a little
it.
predictable, like you guys are saying, but I thought it was still entertaining.
No, I definitely didn't hate it. I just said the only thing it would
said Austin
maybe
hates it.
predictable. Oh, I thought he said you and Austin. Oh, yeah. I didn't. There was not one thing on this card I didn't hate.
yeah, everything was fun.
Yeah.
Everything had its place. Everything was different, and that's by design. I heard Tony Khan wanted every match to be something a little bit different.
Which is
so-
that's smart booking.
yeah, that absolutely.
There's
That was
a place for everything in wrestling.
that was what made ECW at its best great. You had everybody thinks ECW think the Wild Brawls
Yeah.
and the TNA and things like that, but when they were at their peak, and you had guys like Eddie and Malenko, and you had Ray there for a little bit, you had a little bit something different in every match.
Yeah.
And just they did announce that Cage is going to get his title shot at Fyter Fest whenever that happens.
Yeah, they do just later this summer.
Even with going like ECW, like I was a huge fan of Tommy Dreamer because Tommy Dreamer was so versatile. You could put him in a comedy, you could put him in a serious role, you could put him in a death match. Like he was just anything Tommy Dreamer did. What to me in ECW was
Lucha
gold.
Dreamer.
I liked Dreamer a lot. But all right, let's get to our next match here.
And by the way, Fyter Fest is probably going to wind up being like a free BR Live thing, like it was last year.
And now everyone's saying they're going to be on HBO Max because of that.
That's the
that was
rumor.
all over the ring.
Well,
If I pay a subscription to HBO Max and I
You
get
get the
pay per
pay-per-views?
views,
Yeah.
I'm in.
I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be their pay per views because their pay per views do well. I think you might get like a Clash of the Champions type thing where
Okay,
the
yeah.
non pay per view months might get a special.
Yeah.
But no, they were just plugging that because that was launch day. Yesterday was launch day for it, and TNT's Turner Media owns.
What's the
HBO
difference
Max.
between HBO Max and HBO Go?
I think they folded HBO Go into it,
Okay.
where I think it's like $1 more. I think HBO Go is, or no, HBO Now. HBO Go is the one that you get with your cable.
Yeah.
HBO Now, which was just HBO stuff, was like $15. This is I think $15.99.
Yeah.
and they have like Friends. They have Rick and Morty.
Which is a kind of a hard ask when we're so used to playing $10 or $12.99.
yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix is I think $12.
But they're saying that this HBO Max or whatever it's called is literally like when it comes to content, they said it's hands over fist better than anything you're.
But like,
because HBO Go was already HBO is $15 anyway, unless you
Yeah.
have like a package
Yeah.
deal or promotion.
Yeah.
So it's
how much
basically
stuff on there can you not get elsewhere though?
a lot.
Like,
the Rick and Morty reruns when
yeah,
they're friends.
I mean,
Big Get was
I can
Friends.
watch Game of Thrones
Yeah.
on. It's on
Game
it's
of
on Netflix
Thrones.
or
You'll have
Hulu?
No,
Game
no,
of
it's on
Thrones.
HBO.
Yeah,
The
Game
only
of
way you can
Thrones,
watch Game of
Sopranos.
Thrones is on HBO.
Game of Thrones, Sopranos,
There's certain older HBO shows. Maybe this is going to be
Boardwalk
gone.
Empire.
Yeah,
You
there's-
think they put all the old HBO
Yeah,
shows on?
they are. Everything's.
Yeah.
Oz is the one I'm a fan of.
Oz. What was the other one that was really big too?
But like movies, like I don't watch a movie anymore.
True Blood was Showtime, I think. Yeah.
True Blood was HBO.
Was it?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
HBO.
it was. Yeah. Dexter was Showtime.
Dexter was Showtime.
What the hell was the other big Showtime HBO show that everyone?
6 Feet Under. There's a million of them.
The Wire wasn't The Wire.
Oh,
HBO?
Entourage.
Entourage.
Yeah.
I watched one episode. I thought that was one of the most boring and
I did
horrible
not like
shows I've ever
Entourage.
seen in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I hated Entourage.
I liked it.
The HBO comedies.
Californication. Or is that Showtime?
That's Showtime. HBO comedies for me. It's
Californication was
Curb Your
Showtime, but that was
Enthusiasm. I
great.
love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah. And then we're getting Justice League.
Yeah, which is I would put it on Blu-ray, but
I don't think
I'm assuming it will be eventually.
it will.
That's
going to
be their killer app for. That's gonna be their Mandalorian. Like people are gonna. Get
I heard
just
that
for
they're going to take because it's a 4-hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm hearing that they're going to break it up into 4 chapters because the movie itself was supposed to be chapters, like
mini series, which is like
they're going to break it up into like 4-hour-long
I
chapters.
don't know. Would you like Star Wars if it was like that? I personally wouldn't.
They have 9 of them.
Yeah. Well, I'm just
Oh,
saying
yeah.
the last
Apparently,
one.
it's going to be 6 chapters, and they're going to do it 6 chapters because apparently, like for a free trial of HBO Max, it's 4 weeks. So it's kind of making you have to buy it then because you're like, shit.
okay.
Well, I don't
Like-
want to miss the last
So
2.
it's like
you know?
half an hour you
Yeah.
get.
Yeah,
which-
smart.
I would wait until it was all done. Then.
I'm on the fence for it. Yeah, like
and then Suicide Squad's supposed to be getting put to HBO.
that movie at all.
No, there's a director's
I
cut.
liked it. Yeah, but you know,
Soundtrack, I love the soundtrack.
you give them the Justice League director's cut. You give them this director's cut. You say, okay, Zack Snyder's in charge. Then what are they going to ask for? You can't keep pleasing these people because they're going to keep wanting and wanting.
I agree.
And then here's
but
the deal: what if this comes out and it doesn't make any more money than the regular one? Then is it worth it?
It probably
I mean-
won't because theater and streaming are two
Yeah.
different things. But I think I don't know. I think that the circumstances of why we didn't get these movies kind of bothers people, and
But then people are going to feel they have power. They're like, we want Amber Heard edited out of Aquaman, and we
but
want
it wasn't.
that to
It
come
wasn't
out.
so much. It wasn't so much the people. I mean, it was the people, but a lot of it. And it wasn't Snyder. I mean, Snyder was like, "Hey, man, like there was some cool stuff in there," but like the actors itself were like, "Bro." Like they all pretty much said we quit. We're not coming back to
Yeah.
work for DC because the movie that people watched was not our movie.
So then when I say, what if the movie comes out and this one is also not their movie? You know, or it's just not good. Like, ooh,
Well,
you thought regular Justice League was bad. Where do you see this one?
I mean,
you
it's
never know.
it's possible, but I think.
And then people be like, ooh.
but for Henry Cavill to say, you know, the Justice League cut, the Snyder cut was way better, and then now it's coming out.
Who's going to come out and trash their own movie, though?
They did.
I mean-
They came out and trashed
I
the,
know, but
the
like-
Josh Whedon version. They all said it was not fun. It was not a fun experience. They didn't like working they didn't hate Whedon, but they didn't like the circumstances of why Snyder was let go. They didn't like the circumstances of the entire a fourth of the movie was only used, and they read the whole thing. They were not happy with it, and they came out and said like the what you're seeing in theaters is not our movie.
I've always wanted to be on Knuckle in high school. Now I am.
Yeah.
Where do you see this new one and they're not happy with that?
I don't know. It's possible, but from people have seen this already. They've seen this
Yeah, what?
this cut.
Kevin Smith said Man of Steel is one of the best movies he's ever seen. No, it's not.
I don't like
I
Superman.
love Man of Steel, though. I really do love Man of Steel.
I don't like Superman. I loved Man of Steel.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, and I'm not a Superman fan.
The first half hour sucked.
I really enjoyed it.
The first half hour really sucked and dragged, and then it got good. Anyway.
Yeah.
The other cool thing on HBO Max, if you're into it, is Doctor Who. Like the whole.
Oh, they have all Doctor
The
Who.
newer
'cause
ones, not the old
That was
classic.
like BBC's.
No,
big grab.
Britt. I can't
Britt
speak.
Baker.
Britt Baker. Yeah, Britt Box has the old classic like Tom Baker.
Okay, the old
Doctor
like
Who.
80s, and
Yeah,
even back in the 50s.
Yeah. Before it got canceled, like anything from '89 before, and then the rebooted Doctor Who, starting with like Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith.
Yeah.
That's all on HBO Max.
All right, well, let's get back to Double or Nothing. We took it not cool in high school. We didn't record this week, so we're antsy.
Yeah, you're a little antsy.
Yeah.
The next match, I enjoyed this immensely. MJF beat Jungle Boy.
Match of the night.
Yeah, I thought it was very good.
MJF,
Yeah, that was really great.
he's won me over. I do really appreciate what he does.
Whoa!
Yeah. No,
Where's the button? Yeah, dude, match of the night. 100% match of the night. MJF won me over. Jungle Boy won me over. Awesome match.
Yeah, that they worked hard. I wish there would have been a crowd. Like I think a crowd would have really
Oh,
gotten into
yeah.
that match. Jungle Boy is such a good underdog. You just want to root for the guy. And MJF,
There's no reason why you can't put a TV title on Jungle Boy.
well, he's getting a shot.
You know what I mean? Because
Spoilers.
yeah, I mean, well, but I'm saying like
I don't think he's gonna get a title that quick.
I mean,
No.
MJF is booked as your next big guy, and he's beaten guys like Cody Rhodes. Maybe
Yeah.
not clean, but Jungle Boy just went out there and hung with a guy like that caliber. He there's no way that's not believable now.
It seems like MJF might be getting a title shot at All Out. I would think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I would think. Yeah.
So, yeah, fantastic match.
He's number one in the rankings now. He's hasn't lost in over a year in a singles match.
What, they're 24 and 22 respectively.
Yeah.
That's old there. So
Yeah.
wow, you got a lot of years left in them guys.
Yeah, that is the future of your company with those
Yeah.
two guys.
And then we had the TNT Championship match. Mike Tyson at ringside. Cody gets the win over Lance Archer after some
Good match.
shenanigans.
It was a good match.
Yeah,
It was entertaining.
I really thought they were going to give it to Archer.
I thought so too.
I thought so going into it, but I'm like, no, this is Cody's time to get that belt.
And also,
Yeah, the way that they built Cody up. Yeah, I think Archer was my original pick, but the way that Cody's built up and the way that with all the promos saying he has to win, he has to be the first ever. I'm like, as it was going in, I'm like, yeah, if I could change my pick, I would.
Yeah, right about here in the card is where I took a nosedive.
Yeah, I had Archer winning in the score.
I had Cody, but the next match going in is where I just turned. It went bad for me.
And now seeing what they're doing with the TNT title, I get that Cody's going to get he's a fighting champion, and that's a babyface thing. So I in retrospect, it's very good. Then we had the update on Britt Baker that she has a fracture in her leg, a ligament tear, and a tendon tear. But not as bad as thought. Not as bad as the high maintenance patient.
Yeah.
It does look like it's going to be about 2 months. She said she's going to be back at All Out, and I think that's like Labor Day weekend.
September?
I think. Yeah, Labor Day
yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
Because the first All Out was right before they.
But
won
then
on
the
TV.
doctor said that she was the most annoying patient. So like, I'm like, that's against the law. You can't
It's HIPAA.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
fire that doctor.
So here's.
I hope that's the upcoming segment where Britt Baker comes and gets him fired.
It'd be great if her gimmick just she's a Karen. That would be a great gimmick. So the next match was Chris Statlander defeating Penelope Ford.
It wasn't bad, but nothing great.
Yeah, and it was.
Oh no, I had
Wasn't
Chris Statlander win. The after this match is where I
Sean
nosedive.
Sean Spears loses to Dustin Rhodes in a pretty much a comedy match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of filler.
And I was listening to the Meltzer's review of this, and he kind of says like, it's funny like. Spears left WWE because he wanted to be taken seriously as a wrestler.
And he just wrestled in his underwear.
And then, now he's in a comedy match getting stripped to his underwear, and he has Tully Blanchard on his crotch.
Which made no sense. Like that's so dumb.
It felt like a WWE thing.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. It had Dustin in it though, so I was I'm in.
I'm always happy to see Dustin Rhodes wrestle.
Yeah, same here.
And then they did announce All Out for September 5th. That's when the All Out's going to be, Labor Day weekend. No venue yet. No venue has been. I know they usually like Chicago, but it depends.
yeah.
Everything's up in the air.
If it's not, then Jacksonville.
And then they did do a tribute graphic to Hana Kimura.
So when they showed this graphic, and this is not me being cynical, this is not me trying to sound like an asshole, but I said during the pre-show, I said, what if they put the belt on the Japanese star after this tragedy?
And I didn't know this, but Shida and Kimura did. I don't know how friendly they were, but they did know each other.
You know, they had a
were-
match. Someone shared it.
Yeah, and I was like, man, every part of me thinks now. I mean, I'm not saying like they said, not saying she doesn't deserve it, and she's only getting a title because of someone's death.
I don't think that's why they did it, but yeah.
I think it leaned.
I think she's a transition champion.
Yeah,
I think that they want to get the belt on Britt, and they want to do it that way.
Yeah.
yeah. But as soon as I seen that graphic go up, I was like, I'm not comfortable with my Nyla pick.
Yeah.
I picked Hikaru Shida. win,
Yeah,
so,
you did.
yeah.
You
Fun
absolutely
I
did.
thought this was a fun brawl.
Parachute.
I thought this was a fun brawl.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, some really wicked kendo stick shots there.
Yeah, especially that last one she hit Nyla with right before the Bomaye. I was like, holy shit.
And her gear.
Yeah, she was Tifa from Final Fantasy.
There you go. He said it during the pay-per-view, and I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Outer Heaven.
Good. It was a fun match.
She has a lot of cosplay pics.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's done tons of characters.
And she did that weird like porn not porn stuff in Japan too.
Gravure.
Yeah.
Where they're in lingerie, but like the butt see through, and they like get sprayed with water and
Yeah.
stuff.
A lot of them have done
I forget what
that.
that's
Yeah.
called. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Asuka,
Grab,
her,
it's like Greveure.
Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's called awesomeness.
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of Asuka's done them. A lot of people have done them.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll tell you what, man. I will never be upset seeing Nyla on TV. I think she has great matches. I
Yeah.
think she's super entertaining.
I think she is at the point now, and I think she's still relatively new, to like generally speaking with wrestling. I think she's one of those people where if she's in there with somebody really good, then she's gonna be really good, and
Yeah.
she kind of rises to the level of who she's in there.
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, I agree.
Her and Rio was real good.
Yeah,
Especially that last one.
That's the last one.
Yeah.
The last one was a lot better than the first one.
I thought one of the first Dynamite were real in the title. I thought that was a great match.
Yeah. All right, our next match.
The next match was for the world title, and you had Jon Moxley successfully defending against Mr. Brody Lee. Another brawl, another kind of
Yeah, it was
Maybe
fun.
a bit too long. for my taste.
They did the Taz thing where they went through the
Yes,
the
the
stage.
ramp, which was cool.
Then he came out bladed, and then he bladed for another 3 minutes a match.
Not even.
Not even.
It-
They went back in the ring and Moxley choked him out.
Yeah, I thought it was a really unnecessary blade, but it is what it is. If anything, I thought Moxley was coming up bloody because I thought his head hit that piece of wood.
Yeah, I thought the back
It
was
came
hit.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he didn't.
Good match though.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I didn't mind it. I thought Moxley and I thought they had a good match.
Yeah, it's weird because his
Yeah, I thought it
matches,
was a really good match.
his matches like New Japan heavyweight meets like a CZW match, which is an interesting mix.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all.
We did have a commercial for the action figures that are coming out soon.
Yep.
And then
August 20th, I think, something like that.
and then we had the Stadium Stampede,
Yeah.
which I thought was a lot of fun. Like
That was a
it
blast.
hit for me in ways that I know you compared it, Tony, to Money in the Bank. It hit for me in ways that didn't.
Yeah, I
thought it was
And
less
it was
boring.
45 minutes,
it was
but it didn't drag at all.
no. I just
You had
said
10
like
guys in there.
I
Yeah.
just felt like if, and I'm not saying people on our team, I don't think anyone on the team is like that, but just like social media and watching what people say, like for people who bash Money in the Bank but then praise this, I'm like, to me they were the same match. Like they were both
They were the same style of
yeah,
match,
they were
but
both
I thought one was
comedy
much
skits.
more well done than the other.
I mean, like if could
the
you
comedy
imagine
and Money in the Bank didn't really.
could you
hit for
imagine
me.
if 4 wrestlers in WWE came out to wrestle in that style of match and wore football pads?
Yeah.
It was called the Raw Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awful.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying?
that was
like immediately people would have turned their TVs off. You know what I mean? But
Well, they did. It was because McMichael gave away the results on Nitro.
Yeah, I did not. I enjoyed this match. It was fun. It was a really good time. Whoever's moving around over there, you're
if
popping
it was
around. a
4
lot.
WWE guys that were as good as Chris Jericho is, and as good as Kenny Omega is, and as good as the Bucks are, I would enjoy it. But it wouldn't be. It would be like Otis, and it would be like the fucking Street Profits.
Ricochet.
It'd be people like that.
Ricochet's not going to get on pay per view. What are you
I
talking
thought Otis.
Yeah.
I thought Otis
Fallen
was funny
Angel.
in Money in the Bank. The food fight and
about?
the
Food fight did nothing for me.
I thought it was
They're
funny.
throwing food at each other.
I like when
they do on
Shayna-
every Thanksgiving episode.
I like when
Yeah,
Shayna choked out.
That was
fight
fun.
didn't do anything for me.
I know. I like Money in the Bank, but I like this way more. I
Yeah.
think this was much better.
I see. I thought some of it might have fell a little bit with you with the football references.
Well, I didn't understand that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
we were-
overall, it was good.
Yeah, we were explaining it to you.
Yeah.
We were like, Andy, this he threw a flag. That means
Yeah,
this.
I had no idea
He's
what was
challenging
going
the
on.
play.
But I mean, I know when they're like football jerseys, like that's cool, and the Hangman riding the horse out.
Yeah, well, we said even the thing that like he started doing the German suplex,
Yeah.
and we're like, what if he does the full length of the field? And then like 3 seconds later, like he's at the 50, and we're like, they're
Northern
doing it.
Light suplex.
Yeah, they're doing it. Yeah.
And one of the cool things is there was a little Easter egg, and it was when Hangman goes to the bar, then Jake Hager goes to the bar, and they have their fight, and then Kenny comes in and is helping, and they finally beat up Jake Hager, and then they sit down and they have a drink, and Kenny drinks milk, and Hangman's drinking whiskey. It was an homage to a 1974 movie called The Wrestler, obviously not the Mickey Rourke one. This
Yeah.
one was Ed Asner. And Vern Gagne. Vern Gagne, I think, actually paid to have it produced. It was basically AWA the movie.
Oh wow.
And there's a scene in there where the Texas Outlaws, Dick Murdoch and Dusty Rhodes, beat up this foreign heel, one of those monster. I think he was Asian. I don't know. I forget his name, but he was like that unstoppable heel, like a Pak Song or somebody.
I was going to say, I think it was Paxson.
And
Could be wrong.
so they beat him up, and then they sit down and they have a drink. So it was basically an homage to this movie that
That's
Dusty
cool.
was in.
That's cool. Then
And
we
Kenny
got
drank milk because he's straight edge.
yeah.
And which reminded me of which is funny because of how much Kerry drank. There's this old picture, it was always in PWI, and it was Michael Hayes holding a bottle of Jack Daniels, and then Kerry was holding a bottle of milk.
Yeah.
In the picture.
And then we got a couple different versions of Matt Hardy
Yeah,
In the water.
in
They
the
would
pool.
hold
yeah.
him underwater, and then he'd come up and he'd be a different Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
I was very happy that we got a version 1.
Yeah, with the Matitude facts.
Yeah. Some people online were heavy at criticizing that. Just reading into it a little too much. They said
Yeah.
you're doing a drowning angle the week of Shad.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You could really pull that out of anywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
Let's
Like-
say someone died falling off a building. Oh, Kenny jumped off
Yeah.
the thing. And, come on.
Remember the one time this one guy was thrown off a building and was murdered? Oh man,
Yeah.
and you guys did it Money in the
Yeah,
Bank.
remember that guy died in an icebox? And
Yeah. You're just. I think people are just trying to be offended sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I wasn't
They
offended
didn't.
by it.
I would 100%
There was no, I don't think there was
guarantee.
malice. There was no
No.
malice.
Yeah. I would bet my
They didn't
life
see that and then
that
find
they're
that
like,
gimmick.
hey, let's go out and drown Matt Hardy because Chad just like that's not. That didn't even cross their mind.
No one said that.
Yeah, no one said it. Get over yourself sometimes.
And apparently this horse is named Lonesome.
Lonesome.
That's the name of the new horse.
Oh, not Hunter Horse Helmsley.
That was the old one.
He died, apparently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And then at the very end we got Neo. Is it Neo?
Neo 1.
Neo 1.
Yeah, I forget what it stands for, but it's an acronym. Neo 1.
Yeah.
Because Guevara is like knocked out from getting all the suplexes and everything. And he gets up and because the sprinkler system comes on, and he sees nobody around and he thinks he won because he's the last man standing. And then you hear the golf cart coming, and it's a remake of the thing from Dynamite a couple weeks back. But Sammy evades the golf cart, runs up into the stands, and then takes a one-winged angel off of the camera. They have a hard camera for football games that they set up behind the goalpost, usually for field goals. And he went off of that through a
cardboard.
like a crash
pad.
Crash pad, yeah.
And still, that was a far. Then BT, they showed it. They had a camera at the bottom. I was like, oh, that was a far.
It was a drop.
Yeah, it must have felt like forever, especially for Sammy. He's like, oh boy.
Yeah, but overall, good pay-per-view.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And just, it had an energy. Like, AEW has it down for these pseudo-empty arena shows because they have like Dynamite. There was people in the crowd.
Yeah, even in the back.
Yeah.
But they
Guys-
really
guys,
got the energy.
I was gonna add my 2 cents in and then tag out. Is that cool?
Absolutely, brother.
So I've seen a lot of wrestling shows in my day. This one might be the most polarizing, just from what I've heard with people on social media. I mean, you have people like Jim Cornette that are like, after this, I'm never going to watch AEW again. Vince Russo flat out said he wasn't even going to buy the event because people just are going to shit on Russo for whatever he's going to say anyway. And then like Meltzer was talking about, people in his like inner circle, pun not intended, were telling him that it was the best wrestling show they've ever seen. So it's like you had a lot of extremes. I thought it was good to very good. I mean, I did have somebody shoot me a text message after the show was over saying, hey, this was the show. What did he say? My buddy said, who would have thought the show of the year and match of the year didn't happen in the Tokyo Dome? And I go, really? He goes, yeah, the main event was the match of the year. And I go, really? It was better than Okada and Ibushi?
Yeah.
He said, well, I didn't see Okada and Ibushi. I'm like, well, Okada and Ibushi happened at Wrestle Kingdom, and you're telling me this show was better than Wrestle Kingdom. So, like, no, it by no means. You can have your own opinion. You can tell me that Shawn Spears and Dustin Rhodes was your favorite match of the year. Hey, man, that's cool. But I don't like it when people are trying to, like, not argue with me, but like, yeah, this was better than this, but you didn't see, like, Product A was better than Product B, but you never tried Product B before. So
I think AEW, I almost said NXT. I think AEW has really found their niche with this pay-per-view. I think if they go forward and they give you a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not saying like you're not this whole like scripted movie matches we're only going to get during these times. Like I wouldn't expect to see that ever again. Like
except for Matt Hardy.
And
they said they might keep this like as a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine
could
with.
you imagine the people in the stands though? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Even like where they do the showing now, like the shows, that would be a really cool arena to put people in.
Yeah, they were there for.
They did Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think AEW did a really good job giving everyone a little bit of something.
They also did the New Year's Dynamite there.
Okay, yeah.
So I thought it was a really good moment for AEW to be like, we're finding our groove here a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like they definitely put it into a different gear with that pay-per-view.
Yeah, especially even the last one, Revolution, with the one with MJF, Cody, obviously that really fantastic tag match with the Young Bucks, Page and Omega. And Jericho Moxley. I think they hit a home run. I think, like I said, I think this was very good. Obviously, with the crowd, it would have been better. But the one before that, I thought was just absolutely like one of the better shows of probably the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think trying to recreate Japan is just you can't. Like Japan they have their own style. Mm-hmm. They're different from everything in the world. And to say like Japan is better than this because of this. It's not really fair because you want to have your own style of your show.
And it's funny you say that because you can't. I don't think you can recreate New Japan.
No,
but that Stadium Stampede was very similar to a DDT match.
DDT, yeah.
They did it. It was Minoru Suzuki and Shingo. I forget. I can never remember his last name. Not Takagi. The Shingo that runs DDT.
Yeah.
He and they had an empty baseball stadium match at the Tokyo Dome.
At the Tokyo Dome, yeah.
And it was total comedy because that's DDT's thing. Like Aja Kong's trying to sing the national anthem, they keep getting in front of her, and they do all these little things, and there's this one guy who keeps getting kicked down the stairs, and it was very similar to what they did, and that's by design because Kenny Omega loves DDT.
Yeah. All right, we'll let you
Yeah.
go here, Matt. Thank you once again. We'll see you next week, brother.
I appreciate it. You guys be safe. Take care.
See you.
All right, bye.
All right, we're right about the 145 mark, so let's fly through AEW here.
Yeah, the big thing happened at the very beginning. So you had your opening match with the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy beating Joey Janela and Private Party.
Well, it was a pretty good match.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
fun match. High energy. Joey Janela always works hard, always. And then the big thing is the end where you have, during the match you have the Blade that's at ringside and the crowd accidentally getting hit by the Young Bucks. Then you have one of the guys from Private Party gets hurt. You have the finish where Kenny or Hardy and the Bucks win, and then Hardy helps Private Party guy to the back, and everybody's kind of leaving except for
real quick. I don't know if it was in our group chat or if I seen it on Facebook where someone said, "Holy shit, Andy Hedder's on AEW tonight," because he was wearing like his old
the purple key tights that we were talking about with Jack.
Yeah.
Which aren't his real old school. That's just like 2003.
Yeah, when they said old school, I was like, "Oh, we're getting the flannel."
Yeah, that's are the
Faith.
daisies. Remember
Yeah.
the daisy outfit?
But he was like, "You want me to be Spot Monkey, Matt Hardy?" And he's like, "Of course we want you to be Spot Monkey, Matt Hardy." Yeah,
We're gonna get Surge. We're gonna get high voltage.
But yeah, with the elbow pad and like, I mean, it's very like the gear you wear now. It was very.
Yeah.
It was
I think you should have done red to match the hair. I think you should have red, the same tights but red.
Yeah. So yeah, I did see that online where someone says, "Holy shit, Matt, Andy Hedder's on on AEW tonight."
So as this is happening, I'm watching it and I'm like, they seem to be getting the Bucks alone in the ring here.
Yep.
I wonder what's going to happen. And then they have the Butcher and the Blade come in, and that's like your kind of tease. And then you have the big one. FTR comes in in their truck.
And they're like lowrider, like Mexican truck. I was like, why aren't they driving that?
That's
it looks like something Eddie Guerrero would drive.
Yeah, but that style of truck right now is really, really popular.
Oh, is that like the hot thing right now?
And I wonder if this is by
They're
design.
like making like a sports car truck.
Oh, okay.
Like a lot of custom shops are doing it.
I wonder if this is by design that they did this on the anniversary of Scott Hall showing up on Nitro.
Yeah, I don't think it's that Scott Hall moment yet, but I think
but literally that yesterday was the 24th anniversary of that happening,
Yeah.
so they do it on the same day.
Yep.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, it's not going to be as big of it. It's going to be great, but it's not going to be the big thing there. And the tricky thing here is that they help the Young Bucks beat up the Butcher and the Blade.
Well, but the first they make it look like they might beat him up. And then they just fight off the Butcher and Blade.
I know it's a long shot, and I know no one agrees with me. I said it in the chat, but at the end of the day, FTR did never badmouth or said anything negative about the Bucks. The Bucks were the ones who kind of poked and prodded them.
Yeah,
So-
I think just more for the match, they have to be the heels. Because the way the Revival works, it's old school Southern wrestling. They're the Midnight Express.
Yeah, they're going to turn on the Bucks.
Yep, exactly.
They'll beat Butcher and the
Those are
Blade,
brainbusters.
and then they'll beat up the Bucks. I mean, that's the money match,
Yeah.
the feud to go to.
I'm not saying the Bucks are going to be heels, but I think maybe they could be that anti-heel tag team where they're not good guys, but they're not bad guys. They're just strictly business. They just go out there.
Speaking of Scott Hall, like the Revival thing could be, you want a war, you got one.
Yeah.
You know, that can it writes itself.
Just be badasses. They don't have to be heels. They don't have to go out there and cheat to win.
That's what the Revival needs to do.
They need to cheat to win.
They should.
Yeah.
Because they're great at it. They're amazing at it.
I think they should
You
just.
with like that orange tag like that.
Yeah, they
He's
cut
on
the
tag.
ring in half. They are so good.
I would like to see them.
They got
be
a good match out of
technical.
Enzo and Cass. That's
Yeah.
how good they are at that time.
I would just like to see them be technical and just be dominant badasses and not so much cheat to win.
That's what they do, though. They're so
I
good
think
at
they
it.
have a match with the Bucks. The Bucks win the first match. They turn heel after the loss. They beat the show the Bucks and they beat them in a rematch.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I mean, I'm happy they're there. I'm excited for it. What's our next thing?
Up next, you had a quick squash with Brian Cage beating Lee Johnson, and then
Beat the hell out of
Moxley's-
this guy.
Oh yeah.
It was entertaining.
That one drop on his head. I was like, "Oh boy."
And then the thing there is that Moxley's there doing commentary because that's the next big match they're going to for the title, and Taz even goes with the old line: "Beat him if you can, survive if he lets you."
I like Taz as his manager.
Yeah, he's a good promo. It's you can tell it's hard for him to not curse, but he's a good promo.
I'm digging this whole if a guy is retired and can't work, but he still has something to offer the wrestling world. Bring him as a
But
manager.
the guys are doing are also not Taz isn't like an all-time great promo, but Jake is.
Yeah.
Arn is up there. He's a very underrated one.
But Taz is a badass. He's legit.
Yeah.
Like you remember him being a badass. So like him kind of doing like
Ask Rob Van Dam.
yeah.
Pick a hand.
Yeah. Slap.
So then you had.
Did you see his promo on Instagram with him and Katie Forbes? Where
No.
she's like fully covered, but it's very tight, and he's like, "Just cancel culture created this. We didn't create this." Like, kind of, yeah.
I saw Joey Ryan's like, "What are you doing during the quarantine?" And he's just out there holding a sign like he's homeless, like, "Someone touch my dick." So the next thing was, and I know Andy and I were hoping for this. Tony Schiavone is out there with Britt Baker, and she is a conspiracy victim now.
Like Jericho in 98 or no, 97.
Yeah.
90.
First of all, Chris Statlander being an alien is a crock of shit.
Yeah,
she's
conspirator.
a conspirator. Hikaru Shida is a fake champion who carries a weapon. Conspirator. Nyla Rose typically comes off the top rope well, but she hurt her last week. Conspirator.
But she said, I've seen her do it 100, if not thousands of times. It's like, no, you haven't, but that's awesome. And when she came out, the back of her wheelchair said role model. ROLL. I'm like, this is fantastic.
And then the center of the conspiracy is Aubrey Edwards.
Yeah.
Aubrey Edwards, yeah.
Because every time she gets hurt, she was there, except for that one time where she was somewhere.
Yeah. I thought the idea of this promo was fantastic.
I loved it.
I thought the pacing was bad. Like, waiting for the next piece of paper to get floated over. And once again, I think you had certain people in the crowd.
It made Shivani kind of bumbling. And
yeah.
He's so good in that role.
And I think you had certain people in the crowd who were just trying to be heard and not trying to like let the person do their thing. And they were just like overplaying it. Like,
and I love that she keeps calling Rebel Reba.
Yeah, she doesn't know her name.
Yeah.
I like how she's McCurran home.
I have we do the awards in December, and as far as like the person I may have turned the corner more than anybody this year, it's Britt Baker. 100%.
Same here. Yeah,
I am such a Britt Baker fan.
I hope that they do this for the full 2 months that she's off, like updates and with Tony Schiavone and Reba.
More like diagrams of how this
almost
is
like the
and then she should
like
keep it going.
Breezango was doing kind of.
Yeah, even when she's like good to wrestle, she's like, I still have 4 more weeks yet. They think maybe 6.
Well, she called her shot. She said she's coming back at all.
Yeah,
out.
but I mean, like she should obviously she can wrestle, but then she keeps pushing
and then she
back.
can't, and then she's like, I can't because the Aubrey Edwards talked to the doctor.
Yeah,
conspiracy.
Like there could be a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah, 100%. I like the promo. I just thought the pacing for me was a little weird, and just the crowd annoyed me. Like, especially if it's not like a crowd where it's like legit people and you can't control them, but like you're part of the roster. I get like booing, but you are just trying to drown her out, and she's trying to do her thing. Like, fucking have a little, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like it seemed like some of the people in the crowd are just trying to be more than they are. Just you're there for noise.
They're probably trying to get over, but like that's not really the place to get over.
Yeah, it just that was the only thing. Like she's like some parts of her promo was very hard to hear her, and it ruined her pacing because people were just like screaming stuff, and I was like that bothered me a little bit. But overall, I thought the premise of the promo was good. It was very good.
I was so entertained by that.
Yeah, me too.
Because that is to this day my favorite Chris Jericho. When he was they're in DC, and
the font of it was literally the list of Jericho font.
And no, when he was a WCW Cruiserweight champion, and he was always saying he was a conspiracy victim, and he went to Congress to try to like challenge something. He was literally on the steps of Congress. And there's so much of that in what Britt's doing.
Yeah.
And then the next thing we mentioned this a little bit earlier, they kind of teased Orange Cassidy and Jericho because the Inner Circle are backstage. Are talking about having a pep rally tonight, and Orange Cassidy just walks through the shop.
Meanders in, looking around. He's like, "Did you just do that?" So I was like, Jericho wants to wrestle Orange Cassidy. So.
And I totally forgot at the beginning when they had all the shirts that came off.
I'm sure that's on Pro Wrestling Tees. The Stadium Stampede Champions. I want one.
The loser shirts. Yeah, that's so fucking funny.
And
I'm gonna check right now.
One of my favorite lines was one of the LAX guys. He goes, "That's a lot of shirts," and it was from that movie Kung Pao.
Yeah,
Enter the Fist. Where he's like, "That's a lot of nuts."
Yeah, I'm sure they're on there. That's fucking funny.
Which is so funny because they obviously, Andy's not a sports fan, so we wouldn't really know this. But when a team wins a championship, and whether it's like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup, NBA Finals, they'll have the shirts right there, and they're wearing them on the field. They'll have the hats.
What do they do with the losing team shirts?
They send them all over to like developing nations like Africa.
Wouldn't you want one? Like even if your team lost, it's still probably like, I kind of want the shirt.
No,
like,
no,
I know I would.
No,
no.
If
my team lost the Super Bowl, you keep that fucking shirt away from me.
No, you don't.
Don't you think someone would want that shirt?
No.
I disagree. You can make money on those shirts.
If you're the way sports fans are, there's no chance.
I don't know. I think someone will buy it.
No.
Think about all the
Saints fans would, because Saints fans cry every year that there's some kind of.
Think about all the shit people buy. Someone would buy that.
I mean, so people, you know who would buy them? People who hate that team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
would
who
buy
hate
it.
that team.
Yeah.
There would be Cowboys fans or Redskins fans like Eagles Super Bowl 39 champions.
100%. You're right. I would buy that.
Yeah.
I would 100% buy that
Yeah,
shirt.
people would buy them out of
if
spite.
it wasn't my team, I'd
Right.
buy it. Yeah.
But no, like they send them to, like Africa and places like that. So there's
Or they
prob-
just recycle them.
Yeah,
they
they
probably chop
recycle
them
them.
back down. Yeah.
So there's probably like entire villages in Africa that have just all these Buffalo Bills Super Bowl championships. But yeah, and
Yeah, you can buy it. It's $12.50 actually.
Oh,
It's 50% off.
Oh, that's
Double or
gold.
'Cause they
nothing.
have so many of them,
Stampede Inner Circle first ever champion.
For $12.50.
Yeah.
I'm ordering.
but even to that,
Sorry,
like
Harvey.
a couple years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, right before the game, they were selling like conference champions. Like, who would buy that? Like, even like because that's like you win that game to get to the Super Bowl. It's like, okay, well, if you buy it and they win the Super Bowl, you don't need the conference champions thing anymore. If you buy it and they lose the Super Bowl, you don't be reminded that they lost the Super Bowl. Why are you wearing that? Oh, because they didn't win the other game.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho is wearing his shirt on the shirt. Yeah,
It's shirtception. Is that the one where they're all flipping off the camera?
No, it was that time, yeah, but
Yeah,
it's
but
that
they're not
different
flipping them
picture,
off. Yeah.
And then
That's great.
the next match was Hikaru Shida beating Christy James
I thought that was a little sloppy looking this match. I don't know. Some
very
people liked
competitive.
it, yeah.
for like somebody who's not a regular.
But Chris James looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought so.
Mhm.
And then you had the Cody promo where he's talking about how he
The actual Stadium Stampede champion shirts are $25.
the elite ones.
Oh, that's funny.
And the
right.
other ones are $12.50.
That's great. And so Cody goes on this whole thing about why Tom Brady is his favorite quarterback, former WWE
Good promo here.
24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 champion Tom
Yeah.
Brady. And he's like, it's not because Cody's a New England guy.
Oh, and the new FTR shirt's up there, and it says "F the rest."
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it was because Brady wasn't the first pick. Yeah, it was a good promo, and basically what is coming through here is that Cody's going to defend the TNT title every day.
Yeah, open
or every week.
Yeah, which I like.
Yeah.
Open challenge, and I heard someone on their podcast is like, what if they do open challenge, but they open it to anybody in wrestling? So that way, like 1 week, maybe Zack Ryder would challenge, or
bring
somebody
people
from NWA,
Bring people in for a one shot. Yeah.
Marty Scurll. But I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. The question mark.
Yeah,
Well,
wouldn't that be something?
He did. Marty did show up on.
Yeah,
being-
and they
being
ignored
elite.
him, which that got to lead to something.
And the weird thing is, like, they have a thing now with Allie and QT Marshall. I guess she's
Yeah.
not the bunny anymore.
Yeah,
She's
probably
not-
doing something on Dark, but I haven't been watching Dark.
Yeah.
I thought they weren't even doing Dark.
I've only been watching Dark for the people we know wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, I've watched their matches and because it's been like 11 matches. It's long.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so I watched the Clutch Adams match. I watched Mr. Grimm's match, and that's all I've really watched the Dark. Although I did hear they had the first count out in AEW history on Dark. Michael Nakazawa beat Brandon Cutler by count out.
Poor Brandon Cutler.
The mystery shirts almost as much as the shirt.
Then the next match was a bit of an upset here. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian beat SCU.
I thought this was a good match.
Maybe a little long, but
I thought once again going into it not expecting much of Havoc, I really like this match. For me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't really care for Jim Havoc.
Yeah, he's one of
Yeah.
my least favorite guys,
Yeah.
but he's been better. Like I think they put him more in his element, especially in that ladder match. Then they had MJF and Wardlow backstage. MJF's complaining like why he hasn't gotten a title shot, and it seems like they are kind of going toward that. Then we had
how about when he does it and he's like, but if he goes, there is no but, and got in his face and he goes,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, man. Like, yeah, really good.
And then we had the Battle Royal for the TNT title. Orange Cassidy gets jumped by the Santana and Ortiz
the
before the match. X-Lax, yeah.
Yeah.
He gets jumped by P&P, X-Lax, whatever you want to call them, before the match, so he's out. And then it comes down to MJF and Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy came back. And MJF gets eliminated by both of them after he accidentally eliminates Wardlow.
Yeah, because he punches with the ring.
With the Battle Bowl ring or whatever it's called, the Diamond Series ring. And then you have a nice little back and forth with Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy, and Jungle Boy gets the win.
Yeah.
Jungle Boy getting the first TNT title
Well, here's
shot.
the thing. After they were both eliminated, Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy were killing it
Yeah.
in the ring.
Yeah, they got about a minute or two.
Killing. Like, for the little time they had to show one-on-one ability, my God, was it impressive. Mm-hmm. Really impressive.
And I kind of wondered, one of the criticisms Meltzer had of the pay-per-view was he thought Jungle Boy should have beat MJF. He's like, he always loses. He hasn't won a big match. Maybe this is just something like, okay, yeah, Jungle Boy is somebody that's still very much in our picture.
Yeah.
And then we had the Inner Circle pep rally. Vicky Guerrero out as the head cheerleader.
I thought that was pretty good.
That was great. Sammy Guevara had participation trophies for everyone.
Why does mine say world's okayest or
World best dad jokes.
Yeah.
It's like that's hard. Like I thought up until like the Tyson, I thought it was pretty good.
Which is so funny because I don't know if it was like just I think it was we were just talking during the pay per view. It wasn't when we were doing the scorecards. But one of the times my buddy Jack and his dad went to ECW Arena. Him and his Jack's dad and Jericho were just making dad jokes with each other for like 45 minutes. So yeah, and then he also had a framed photo of Mark Anthony for Chris Jericho.
Which that was when I was like, I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Isn't Mark Anthony part of one of the Florida teams, the Dolphins or something like that? He's part of that.
so.
I don't know. It was just like a Puerto Rican thing, or like I don't.
All I know about Mark Anthony, he's a singer and he's married to, or he used to be married to Jennifer Lopez. So I don't really know about.
And when they said like, when he gave the Icy Hot or whatever the Vicks Vapor Rub to.
That's definitely a.
And
Spanish.
he goes, my abuela, and then Chris Jericho goes, my abuela says that too.
Yeah,
I was like, that's pretty funny.
It is a ongoing joke that Puerto Ricans.
Vicks is like the miracle.
Yeah, they put Vicks on everything.
Well, we gotta look up and see what the Mark Anthony joke is, because that one I was like, I don't get that.
Yeah, that one went over my head too. So yeah, Ortiz got a pair of earmuffs from Jericho. He got Guevara's scooter.
You know what? I forgot about why he was acting like he couldn't hear anything.
The bell thing. Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, it's because of the bell thing. Yeah.
Jake Hager wrote a poem,
which is pretty good.
He wants to run over the Elite with a Tesla.
Yeah.
And Jericho said he really wanted Mike Tyson's head on a platter. He's still mad about when Tyson teamed with Jericho on Monday Night Raw in 2010, and Tyson turned on him.
I don't remember that at all.
It was we mentioned it because I brought it up because Tyson was wrestled when he was the guest host. It was when they had the guest host every week on Raw, and Tyson actually wrestled, and it was Tyson and Jericho against somebody. It's Cena and somebody, I think, and Tyson turned on Jericho during the match, and so he said he couldn't get Tyson's head, but he got a cheese platter and some bubbly, and he opens up the thing, and almost all the cheese and stuff is
well,
gone.
the cheese was already on the table, gone.
Yeah,
like the whole time you're there, the cheese was already gone. So like no one noticed that the cheese has already been eaten on the table. Yeah, so that was weird.
And there's no bubbly. And then Tyson and his
crew.
The
cheese? Tyson?
Did you notice who was all part of that crew?
Who was the goofball with the face paint?
No idea.
He was an absolute
the white guy.
idiot.
I don't know who the hell he was, but everybody else I knew.
You had Henry Cejudo, UFC fighter, just retired. You had Vitor Belfort, a legendary UFC fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rashad Evans,
yeah.
Rashad Evans, yep.
Mr. Grimm.
Yeah, Mr. Grimm was in the back. Yeah.
Mr. Grimm was
I
part
didn't
of
even
the.
notice him.
Yeah, he was part of the. He was part of the squad.
And yeah, so they and they're coming out with the bubbly bottles. So obviously they ate the cheese. I forget who was drinking the bubbly, and we had that face off, almost trying to recreate the Tyson and Austin thing, but didn't quite hit as much as that one.
Mike Tyson, a little too goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he didn't he went out and just was like, I'm not taking this seriously at all.
Yeah, it was like he was drunk or he's high or something. Like it was absolutely terrible. Like it was he acted so embarrassing that it killed the segment.
Yeah, Mike was pretty bad here. I mean, it looks great, but it's like, ugh. And then what did we?
Nothing about Jericho and Mike Tyson wrestling does anything for me.
Do we get a movie match and it's like Rocky?
Maybe.
Like, is that the way you go, or does Tyson get someone to fight for him? He's like, I don't know wrestling, so I'm gonna get someone who can wrestle.
Yeah, here's Orange Cassidy.
An Orange Cassidy Mike Tyson training montage would be great. Like Tyson's just trying to move. He's like,
punch in the bag. Like,
yeah, that would be fantastic.
Just.
So I don't know. I don't know where they're going. Obviously, they're trying to bring in more fans in by getting on ESPN and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's to kind of appeal to the mass audience,
and Tyson has liked wrestling forever. So
I mean, he was sleeping or yawning during the one match
to the point where WWE kind of got frustrated with him because they were like asking, "Oh, who's your favorite wrestler?" Bruno Sammartino. Yeah, and this is when they hated Bruno.
Yeah,
and then Cole Stone.
Yeah. Cold Stone. So who knows what they're gonna do? But a movie match, it might not be all that bad. But a real match, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah,
don't know.
Yeah, it'd be very, very interesting. We'll say.
And they got a little newsworthy today because Henry Cejudo was officially stripped of his UFC title.
Oh wow!
Well, he said he retired.
Yeah,
he wants like $1 million a fight, and they're not going to pay him.
He should get $1 million. But that's another story.
Or maybe it's like $100 million. He wants a lot of money for fights, and as talent wise, he's as good as anybody. But I guess they were like, nah.
I don't know who that guy.
No,
was.
you're right. It's $1 million, but they're saying it's not worth it because he's in one of the smaller weight divisions.
Okay.
But it's like, dude, who cares? He's still great.
And every single time he goes against somebody that he's not supposed to technically beat, he smashes them.
He smashes them, yeah.
And he's a
but he's not worth $1 million. Not the Dana White.
He's an Olympic gold medalist. He has a big background in wrestling.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, smaller guy, so he wouldn't. I don't think he would work too well in there, just because there's a picture of him with Marco Stunt. He's not much bigger than Marco.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go with it.
Yeah. All right.
Or does is it like Tyson makes a team to fight the inner circle?
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, I mean, if they have all those MMA guys, who
and
knows?
maybe it'll get Mr. Grimm a gig. That would be
Yeah,
good.
Mr. Grimm, and then that idiot with the face paint that took his shirt off and he's fat.
Yeah.
Who is that guy? I'll be like, no, you can't go out.
Yeah. All right. Well, Andy, you got anything to plug?
Not really. Pro Wrestling Tees. You buy blue and gold shirts. So you can buy that new Stadium Champion shirt for $12.50.
It's already been ordered.
Yeah, so go on there and check that out. I'm gonna get a Britt Baker shirt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna get.
Tyler?
There's a new one.
Is there a role model shirt?
Yes, there is.
You can just check me out on Witness for Wrestling and their Tornado Tag podcast page. And still, that's it.
And still, I like it. Brian.
Murder My Dude, episode 66 this week. If you don't like when we talk the politics, you might want to skip this one. Very political.
Really?
Very political, this one, yeah. So, and the main story is about the founder of American Atheists who went missing in 1995. What we have coming up, though, like last year we did an episode in June for Pride Month. This year we're going to do a different Pride-themed episode every week. So
that last Pride one was tough to listen to. The Matthew Shepard one was super sad.
Yeah. Jeez.
I just finished the McDonald episode.
Okay.
And not only did I finish it and listen to it, and I was so intrigued about everything, I went and downloaded Tubi.
Okay.
And I watched the documentary.
Holy
it's a hard watch.
Shit. And Andy, check this out. This documentary he's talking about, it's about this mass shooting in McDonald's. It was done by Charlie Min. Remember Charlie Min? He was, for a little bit, he was one of the announcers in WWF in like 1994, 95.
Oh, wow.
Asian guy.
Yeah.
And he mainly did that live event thing on Superstars. We talk about like the local show that's happening.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie Min, he directs movies now. And he directed this movie about a mass shooting in right over the border in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy watch. But yeah, definitely go check out Murder My Dude. They do great stuff over there. Big fans of their content. That'll do it for Tornado Tag Podcast. We'll see you guys next week. We're out. Here's some no rain checks.